So we talking about what's your Black American experience. I would love to hear y'all stories. What what does it mean being Black American in the United States to you, or what experience do you have? You know, let's see. Good, bad, or indifferent. Okay, Tippy,
Okay, my Black American experience
can
has
you talk up
been
a little bit, Tippy?
oh, my Black American experience has been great because I've always lived in the Black community, and I'm originally from Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, James Brown, and I've always gone to a Black institution as far as learning, except for my master's degree. And when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, now that was the worst years of my life because that place was so racist. I mean, extremely racist.
Tippy, can I ask you about what age range you in?
I'm 72 years old.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mo. Okay, that give me a better idea. Okay, go ahead, Tippy.
And so, with that experience in Atlanta, I didn't realize how crazy Black people were in Atlanta. Um, because a lot of Black people in Atlanta, once they get jobs, like with corporations, they forget they Black, some of them. And working with people like that was just crazy to me. So I moved back to Houston and I was blessed working for the city of Houston. There's nothing but Black people in the city of Houston. So my last years working were wonderful because I worked around all Black people. I was able to show my skills and be appreciated for it as opposed to working in a white organization where you're never appreciated. You work like a dog and they don't appreciate you at all. But now that I'm retired, I'm with my sorority. I'm doing things in the Black community. And it's been wonderful being Black, as long as you stay with your people.
Wow, that's amazing. Tippy, what's the word? Do you mind sharing?
Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Is that the AKAs?
Yes,
Oh
AKA.
wow. What was that experience like? I did like a year in college, but I was a young mom. So I didn't finish unfortunately. But what was that back in back in those times? What was that black sorority life like? That had to have been something special because it was blackity black back then, right, Tippy?
Yes, it was Black and they Black. I mean, those sisters that play. You know, if you wanted to be a part of that sorority, you had to go through some stuff. But it taught you sisterhood. It taught you how to work together with Black women. It taught you how to bring forth your ideas and people actually working with you to make those ideas successful. So I loved it. And but we changed. We made a lot of changes with that because the harassing was found out not to do that. So it's against the law for us to harass people to get into sorority. You know, back in the day, they thought that was the way to go to harass people, and But we
Wait a
found
minute,
that,
Tippy, what
huh?
you mean? How was they harassing people?
Girl, they did some of everything, but I can't tell you that. That's
Oh, I
secret.
know. Okay, okay. I wish I was. I wish I was your granddaughter. I need the tea, Miss Tippy. Because I could talk. I got so many questions, but it's all good. I understand. I understand. Hey,
Yeah,
Black Queen. Thank you, Miss Tippy, for sharing your experience.
you're welcome.
You ain't got to get down though. But hey, Black Queen.
Hey sis, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Happy Saturday.
Yes, and welcome everyone. We're just so glad to have you.
Yes.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, I mean, what am I saying? Hey to? Let's see. Let's get to Dimples. Hey, Dimples.
Put my thing on this.
Oh, I got you, Miss Tippy.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Fine. You Black American, Dimple?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. I forgot to ask Miss Tippy, but I'm pretty much sure she was. I think I'm right.
Yes,
You Black
indeed.
American, Miss Tippy? I don't know. But hey Dimples, what's your Black
Of
American?
course, I'm Black American.
Okay. I forgot to ask you. You know, sometimes people shock me. We be talking for an hour, then somebody asks in the comments, and they be like, "No, I'm Haitian." I'm like, "Wait." Okay. Dimpo. So, what's your Black American experience?
Now, do you want to know the positive, or you want to know the
We
positive
want it
and the
all
negative?
today. We want it all. If you got something on your chest, you can use this stage to get it off. We hope after you do, you feel a little better. But we gonna hopefully, Black Queen, I was telling them our goal today is to have just a smooth stream, hopefully, everything stays smooth, and just let us talk about us and some good things, bad things, vent a little, whatever. That's the goal of this stream,
Yes,
okay?
Well,
absolutely.
I am so glad that I found a platform that is on the positive note of experiencing, the negative and the positive, and just being here in America.
This your first time being here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, let me tell you right now. I heard what you said, and I appreciate that. But that's our goal. Every stream, that's our goal. But it gets crazy in here. I'm talking about it can get crazy.
Okay.
I just don't want you to think it's,
Well,
because anything liable to happen. I'm telling
yeah,
you, they
yeah,
be coming
yeah.
out the
I
woodworks.
get it. I get it. It's raw out there on these TikTok streets. I'm just
Right.
these
For real,
TikTok
Dimples.
streets. Yes,
All right,
yes.
well, go ahead, Dimples.
I'm here in Missouri, particularly in St. Louis, Missouri. But I grew up in Missouri, if that makes sense. But I moved to a different state. I'm not a different state, but a different area of Missouri.
Anything.
So
Put it down on the floor.
I've had a lot of experience just working in the uh, out there working with employers. Had different jobs. My job has always been the healthcare arena. So I've been in the healthcare arena for over 40 some years. That the job, you have to really have a caring, compassionate to do that type of job as a nurse. So yeah, it can be very challenging. But the thing is, what I've learned, sometimes you just come with that niche of caring and compassion. So you deal and see so many people of all nationalities, if that makes sense. So yeah. So I started really young, caring for others in my own family, if that makes sense, where, like my grandmother and my grandmother's brother, and her sisters and things like that. So I was around a lot of elders. So I helped my grandma with her brothers and her sisters as they aged. And I watched her. One of the things I can really say, being a parent now, it's all about that experience and just watching. We can always be parents that kind of be more vocal and try to tell our children, don't do this, don't do that. I learned everything through an experience by watching how they behaved and act towards each other. And they show so much love towards each other as I was growing up. However, moving forward, she passed, and a lot of our family members did pass of the elder. And now I'm here with my own children and my own family. And, my mom, because it was four girls, okay? She was very, very strict. And when I say that I come from back in the back alleys of the sundown towns, that's where I came from. Meaning, we had to be in the house before dark. Everybody knew everybody. So if it was like you're out there cutting up and are you so and so daughter? Or, like that. And so, of course, they're going to get back to your parents and let them know, I saw your child out here cutting up. and we we don't, when you're outside playing, you don't know who's watching. So when we got home, okay, and it finally got back to our mom or our dad, okay, well then there was some serious punishment, okay. So it was very, very strict. We had to say the yes ma'am, no ma'am, just out of respect. We didn't sit in front of older folk talking. That was not allowed. We wasn't able to sit on males' laps and stuff like that. That wasn't allowed. We just was not allowed in adult conversations when adults were talking. So it was very, very strict for me. So when I moved to St. Louis, when I moved to St. Louis, I really learned a lot. Even though I was around white tea people, you knew from when I was growing up, I knew that I had to always be on A1. Okay, that means you got to do what you need to do to survive out here. That was the mindset, that I was taught. We had a routine, for all four of us girls. We had to do the bathroom one week. Somebody had to do that living room one week. Somebody had to do the dishes one week. We had a routine. Okay, and back then we didn't have no cell phone. So if mama got mad or whatever, we did something, okay, she just take the whole phone off the wall. We ain't gonna talk to nobody. And the neighbors knew if we went outside or whatever, they gonna tell it. So we just, that's just the kind of growing up or rearing that I experienced. So when I got out here in the real world, of course, I didn't go straight to college. When I grew up, my mom graduated with her bachelor's degree before I even got into high school. Okay. And then my sisters got bachelor's, master's degrees and all of that. But, that's important. But, I didn't do all that. I kind of just went out. I didn't have kids early, but I was just out there trying to find my way in the world. Okay. But eventually I did go to school and didn't get my degree and all of that.
Okay, we're going to land your plane. We got a new guest. I just want to get to him. But you can finish your sentence or something.
So
then we'll have open.
The experience of, working and being around others that don't look like you, you just got to remember, just do the right thing at all times. Know your history, know who you are, and stay faithful with that.
Thank you, Maroon. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, brother. God bless you. Hey, Mr. Crunch. Thank you, Miss Dimples.
Hey everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. How you doing today, Mr. Crunch?
I'm so delightful. I'm refreshingly just stunning and amazed. And I'm so happy to be on today. I just want to tell everyone, I hope you're drinking water, you're living healthy, and all your dreams are coming true. I can go straight into it and let you know my Black American experience. I've been alive for 42 years.
Okay, are you a black American?
I'm a Black American.
What's your ethnicity? That's you Black American?
My mama's black with rough hair, my daddy's black with good hair. But I came out with decent hair, but we're all black. No, seriously, I'm just being honest,
Shout out to you. Go ahead, Mr. Crunch.
I could say a million things, but I love who I am. I love my family, and
Mr. Crunch. Hey, American. Hey, Maroon. Mr. Crunch, is he gone?
Hey, sis.
Okay, Mr.
What's going
Crunch.
on?
Mr.
Good
Crunch.
afternoon, y'all.
Good afternoon, Mr. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Something happened to Mr. Crunch, y'all.
Crunch was about to say something crazy.
That was the ancestors.
Okay. Hey, American. Hey, you want to talk about? You want to tell us what's been your Black American experience?
Okay, let me see. What's your Black American experience? My Black American experience has been just good, bad. It's been hasn't been perfect. It's been a lot of hard work. Um, but overall, if I had to come back in any lifetime, I would come back black in every lifetime. So at the end of the day, no regrets. I mean, I guess just living my life just like every other person, just, you know, having some good days and some bad days, and, mostly good days, and thankful and grateful. Thanks, bro. And that's been my experience.
Thank you, American.
You're
Um,
welcome.
who is that? I'm gonna mute you up, Dimples. FBA, can we let Paul go before you, or
Yeah,
you want?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, the Paul, how you doing today?
Hello, how you doing? I'm great.
That's good. What's your ethnicity?
I'm be okay.
Okay, what's your Black American experience been like?
I would have to say my Black American experience have been a kind of like an up and down uh situation. So, growing up, I grew up, in the hood. We did not see any type of struggle growing up in the hood. I didn't realize that um we were. I didn't realize we were poor until I went to college. But however, with all of that, I do appreciate all my mom's sacrifices. But I did choose to, when I had children, to move out of the hood and give them an environment that I wasn't, afforded. But going outside of the Black community, I learned that a lot of times the white tea people, they can smile, be nice, and things like that, but they will not vote for the liberation of the BLK people. So whenever a person look at you and they want you to be great, but just not better than them, I do look at that as a form of racism. And I, with this Carmelo Anthony thing that's going on, you know, in the state of Texas, I live in Houston. So in the state of Texas, you do not have to have a license to carry. We are an open carry state. However, you see YT kids all the time in the suburbs with their AK-47s and their rifles just walking up and down the street. It's never an issue. But the moment I bought my son a rifle when he made 18, of course he was instantly arrested, and he was treated differently from my neighbors' kids, and it's just not the same. And then I also purchased my son a vehicle. I bought him the same kind of cars that the white kids
Thank you.
drive around in, and they he gets pulled over all the time just because they don't expect him to drive a car like that. They expect black people to be bottom of the barrel because that is the kind of narrative that they push in the media, that we are Section 8 and EBT queens and things like that. So I think it's just very disingenuous that our black kids and our
Yes,
black
it's no
people,
for
um, we have to experience this still in 2026. So I teach my kids to be vigilant. I don't teach them to be racist, but I do want them to always be aware of the environment and of the people. Just because a person smiles at you does not mean they're rooting for you. So you always want to be, just always be aware. And I land.
Thank you. Thank y'all for all the gifts. User, you want to come off mute now?
yeah. How's it going, host? How you doing today?
What's your ethnicity?
Be okay.
Okay, we'll go with that. What's your Black American experience?
Yeah, it's been pretty on and off. You know what I'm saying? It's more like almost the other day I almost got arrested. I was heading into a shell out there, and uh, a police officer rode up. without any evidence, without no proof or nothing. He rode up right behind me and was curious on what I was doing. He had no probable cause to pull me over, whatever. Mind you, I drive a regular Toyota Corolla, no tint, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And he just had
You
the
doing Uber
audacity.
in it?
Who was that?
Were you doing Uber Eats in it?
Nah, I was just going and pumping gas.
Mm.
And he had the audacity to get behind me and start questioning if this was my vehicle and all this. Like, I don't know. He got I guess he said his say was he was suspicious on my driving. You know what I'm saying? And then this happened last week. You know what I'm saying? And it really that showed me that they targeting us. You know what I'm saying?
What's his ethnicity again?
He said black.
Oh, I thought you said
Be okay.
UK.
No, he
Nah,
said
be
be
okay.
okay.
UK too. Okay, well, first of all, you can't hide that accent. We hear it. And if you guys come up here, it's okay to be honest about where you're from.
Hold
But
on.
nobody's,
What?
no,
I'm from.
yeah,
I
because
maybe.
you have an
Yeah, I maybe have
accent.
that. Yeah, because I'm from North Carolina.
All right, bro. Yeah, good night.
And then
Yeah, have a
another
good day.
thing, they all say, y'all notice that they all are starting to say they're from North Carolina and South Carolina. They all say that. It's
Hey, Black Queen, where you from though? For
They have a lot of people that live off those islands in North Carolina and South Carolina that come from those little islands, and they call them Goochies, and they do have accents. Some of them.
No, that is not them. That's some of my family members.
That's
That's
not
not
them.
them. That's not
again.
them.
Okay.
No, no.
Okay.
you
They
drink,
don't
Okay.
sound like that, sister.
they
They
don't
don't sound
even
like
know what
that.
they talk about. For they probably
He's
from
clearly an African, but it's
Atlanta or
okay.
something.
Oh,
All
you
right, bro.
think he's
We
an
Thank you so much for
African?
sharing. Hold on, everybody. Let's get
we hear
get
your
on back.
accent.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're gonna let him go so we can move on with the show.
Okay.
Okay, so who we got next? We have I think Miss Alexandria came up, got connected first. Miss Alexandria,
Oh, hello, beautiful.
hey, how
You're
you
so
doing today?
pretty.
Oh, thank you.
How y'all doing today? Oh my gosh, it's even prettier in
Oh
person.
Lord, thank you so much.
I hope everyone's doing great today on this beautiful Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
good.
doing
Yeah.
good.
Good, you look good. What's your Black American experience? I have had a wonderful Black American experience. I'm so blessed to have been born and raised in America, an American citizen. I wouldn't want it any other way. And I don't have anything but great things to say, great memories. Anything that I ever wanted in life, I got it. Whether when I was growing up, my parents made the life for me, or I went out and got it for myself. And I just feel so blessed to be an American. That's all I want to say to you nice people.
Thank you, Miss Alexandria. We're gonna get to Leonard. Sorry, y'all. Leonard, how you doing today? You want to unmute Leonard?
I'm sorry, Miss Love's. I apologize. How you
Oh, that's
doing, Miss
okay.
Love's? Good to see you, love.
Good to
Um,
see you too. What's your ethnicity?
Aboriginal descent. So
Okay.
pretty much, my mother is like my parents' side is Anacostan, indigenous. So I mean, you know how like people say, man, I got seven. My great great grandfather, like I, directly. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather is of that. So, I'm blessed to, have that still, to have the knowledge. But for me, how my experience been, it's been an interesting ride. You know what I'm saying? I see things for what it is. When you get a certain age, I'm 38 now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm almost 40. But the way I look at life is from a whole different perspective. You know what I mean? So I just soak up energy. And I do believe, honestly, that people of color are the most envied from my experience.
I agree.
Yeah, we the most envied. Yeah, for a fact. That's a fact.
What do you mean by people of color?
Thank you, Dr. No Job.
People of color, people of ancient descent. So pretty much we have melanin in our skin. I don't care what. See, I think our problem is like for years we've some not all of us, but some of us have had that denial effect. Like you know what I mean? Like some people feel like, hey, you know what? It's not about the color thing, and then some people, see it for what it is. For me, I feel like from my experience, I gotten that. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody's journey in life is different, but I'm just talking like from my experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people of color could mean Latinos, bro. We talking about Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? We talking about a specific lineage of people here and their experience here. You know what I mean? So that people of color stuff, because what's that?
Yeah, okay, so I don't consider Latinos people of color. So like my logical way of thinking is people of melanin like myself. So I wouldn't really converse or talk about Latino issues because I'm not Latino. So I can just only speak from my perspective, which is a black man. I'm a black man. You know what I mean? So as a black man, your you know what I'm saying, walking life might be way different from mine. It just depends on your situation, circumstances, and things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Okay, thank you, Leonard.
You will.
So Dimples, we gonna rotate you down. We're gonna bring up a new guest. Thank you. And Miss Tippy, we gonna rotate you down. We're gonna bring up a new guest. Thank you, Miss Tippy. Y'all can come back anytime. Just we gotta get to the people in the queue. Hey user, how you doing?
Hello. Hello to
Hey,
everybody in the chat.
hey, user, what's your ethnicity?
I am black into the ground. I am an African American Negro, a
Okay,
descendant of the Atlantic slave trade.
okay. Um, Go ahead. You want to answer the prompt, user? What's your Black American experience?
My experience as a black American has been one of pride because of where I come from. I come from a small town, Rockwall, Texas, not far from Plano or Frisco or any of those other places, North Texas. But my experience has been one of security when I was young, being from a small town, not really understanding the woes of this world. But as I've gotten older, I've experienced disappointment when I've learned that most of everything we learned about civil rights was a charade, if that is the right word, if I can use that word.
Mm.
It's also been a situation of disappointment because we have tried so many things to do to make our situations better, but it's never gotten any better. It's some people make it, most don't, and the ones that do make it, they never reach back. They never throw an iron on the fire just to make it a little warmer for the rest of us. It's been pretty disappointing, but I'm still thankful to God that I'm here. I'm not one of those black people that said we should go back to Africa because we don't know Africa. This is all that we know. Um, and that's been my experience. I continue to believe in God. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. So I believe in God. And I believe that one day, some kind of way, everything's going to be all right. But it concerns me because I'm a grandmother. I have grandchildren coming and grandchildren after them. And I just wish it was better. I wish I could say today we are planning for better for tomorrow, but it seems like all we do is fuss and fight. And I land my plane right there.
Can I say something real quick, love?
Sure.
I think the first thing that what we need to do is we need to stop calling ourselves African American. They're not in Africa calling themselves American Africans.
Yeah, but that's a petty point to argue about. I know I'm not from
It's
Africa.
not, ma'am. If you know you from Africa, do you did your genealogy?
No, I know
You-
because that's what I've learned. So again, we have
from
to also
who?
stop getting
You
on each
learned that
other
you
because because we don't know, we don't articulate things the way each other. We're all different. We're not a group of people with the same mind. I've been called black. My birth certificate says Negro, and like I just said, I believe that I am a descendant of the original Hebrews. So I didn't come to
ma'am,
argue about that.
nobody. Can I speak? Can I speak
Mhm.
for a moment? Okay, thank you.
Okay, can somebody
If
cut their TV down?
we have not, what I'm asking you when I ask you about your genealogy, because we have been fed a lie. And when we all started to do our genealogy, a lot of us started to find out our roots are not even tracing back to Africa. This is part of the white supremacists' plan to make us think we're from Africa while they steal our land. So I'm going to just
Hmm.
encourage everyone, I'm going to encourage you all to please do your genealogy before you call yourself African. Please, you will find that many of you do not even have a lineage tracing back to Africa. This is the lie. You got to understand we're dealing with deceivers, okay, and
Hmm.
liars, and they have created this whole illusion that we were nothing but slaves nobody wanted who
Thank
came
you,
from a
Sheila.
third world country, and that we're nothing but Africans and this is their land and not ours, when it is totally untrue. If you would go and look in the records back then, they never called anybody African. They called them black, they called them mulatto, they called them colored, they called them a lot of things, but they did not call them African because we were not African.
I would like to add something.
Brazil got the most of the slaves.
And I would like to add something to that. Um, I just would like to, in case everybody isn't aware of what an African American is, or an Italian American, or a Swedish American, that's when you would, Elon Musk would be an African American, because they are from, literally from that continent, and they moved to America and they became citizens. So we would not be African Americans. We are Americans. And because of the race, all of that started in America anyways, with racism, the black and the white. That is something distinct to America. If you were to go to Nigeria right now, they don't say I'm black even. They will tell you I'm Nigerian, I'm Igbo, I'm Ghanaian if you go to Ghana. They don't recognize black and all that stuff nowhere outside of the US. So that alone
Okay,
will let you know that, that is American. But I am a
okay,
black
land your
American.
plane,
Oh, okay.
Alexander.
That's all I wanted to say.
I would just
When
like a
somebody is
quick
African
second to
American, they're
respond.
literally off the continent and they're now citizens of America. That's all.
I
Yes,
would like
ma'am.
just 5 seconds to respond to
No,
both
go
ladies.
ahead, user.
Thank you for listening to me. To the two ladies that spoke, I think all that extra was irrelevant, because the question was, what is my Black American experience? So it's my experience if I want to call myself African American, Hebrew Israelite, or if I want to call myself a nigga. It's my choice. So that's the disingenuous thing that why we don't come together as people. But thank you all. Have a good day.
I
Well,
can I
user, you
can I
don't have to go. And I mean, you entitled to call yourself anything you want. I think they was just giving you a different
I,
perspective.
I
That's
know,
all.
but
and
I came on the panel because you asked a question about our
Yeah,
experience. I
right.
didn't know
And
that I was
thank
going to be
you for
judged
that.
by some people that can't. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what you think. It was
can
my experience. It's my story to tell, whether I'm happy, sad, or indifferent. That's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
problem with our people. You always want to address things that are not being addressed. The question is, what is your Black American experience? And
Okay.
you two are
can,
only about African American Negro.
can
I'll
I
be whatever I
explain?
want to be when I
Can I
want to be
say
it.
something? Can I say
Please,
something?
please.
You do you mind?
No, I don't.
Okay, this is the thing. This is what they're saying to you.
I think you
For
missed the
for
point. I don't care what they're saying to me. I was coming on the
Okay,
screen because
listen.
I heard
So
that.
I
No,
think
no.
right now it
You asked
sounds
me if
like
I
you're
wanted to
being
hear.
Can't
right,
interrupt the mod. Go ahead,
right,
American. Y'all stop
right.
coming off mic. We will get a chance to speak. Go ahead, American.
Okay, it just seems like to me, from what I'm taking it right now, that you're coming off offensive. They weren't trying to offend you, they were trying to correct you. Correction is love. So they're coming from a loving place, trying to tell you that some of the things that we have been ignorantly calling ourselves is incorrect. We don't come from Africa. there's some of us that was a part of that some of us have ancestors that was a part of that transatlantic slave trade story, but that's not for the majority of us. That's all they wanted you to know. Like, they were just trying to listen, they were just trying to educate you. We don't know you from a can of paint. We don't know what you know and what you don't know. But it is our job as a community to educate one another so that we're not being blindly ignorant out here. That's it.
Okay. Well, I wish the chat would have said, because I was listening before I got on. So I wish the chat would have been, what is your Black American experience? And please don't come up here and say that you're something that you're
No,
not.
ma'am. Hold on, ma'am. Let me tell you, that's not my intentions. I want to know your personal Black American
You
experience.
asked me. Okay, first
I
let me just say
understand.
this. I watch YouTube all the time, and I'm sorry. I watch YouTube all the time. Today was my first time ever getting on the channel. Okay, because I thought it was a bunch of people talking about things that was important to me. So I came on.
And I'm
That takes
happy
a
you
lot.
here. And I'm happy you here. And the question, you absolutely right. What's your Black American experience? Some people appreciate feedback to their experience, and some people don't. And you don't.
I obviously
So and
don't.
I and we can leave
If
that.
it
I
would have,
appreciate you coming from YouTube,
okay,
and you are welcome here. And
okay,
your experience is valid. You know what I mean? It's not mine. It's nobody else's but yours. So I mean, she doesn't want feedback.
I
Everybody
know
don't want.
I don't want criticism from somebody that doesn't know me. Now, if we have been on this show together a couple of times, then you can say something to me. But one, I only came on to answer the question,
Well, thank you. We
not to be
appreciate
critiqued,
that.
not to be critiqued by people that
Okay.
don't know me
Can I,
and don't know who they
Yes,
are
ma'am.
themselves clearly.
Yes, ma'am. We
can
understand. And I'm glad.
can
We glad you came here from YouTube. And you welcome to stay. You welcome. You can go. I don't know, but you definitely welcome. We've done a couple of shows with with some Hebrew Israelites. So I mean, I think my moms, they respect your opinion. They just had a different perspective. So like I said, y'all, some people don't want feedback or criticism. I don't know. I wouldn't take it as criticism. I thought they was just, trying to give you a different perspective, but some people don't want that, and that's okay. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Experience. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. What's your ethnicity?
I'm Black American.
All right. What's your Black American experience?
Well, I grew up in a predominantly black city. I grew up in Memphis. I went to TSU and then I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. As growing up, I grew up in a black neighborhood. I went to an all black, elementary, middle school, high school, all of that. And then I went to a HBCU. So I was really pretty much surrounded by black people up until I was about 21. And then I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. And so I never felt like when I was in Tennessee that I experienced, that it was a great experience. I was surrounded by my people and I felt sort of supported in that way. um, so I appreciate
Hold
it.
on. Miles, can y'all hold the stage?
Got
I gotta solve a household issue.
Yeah.
all good.
All right.
Go ahead, experience.
Okay, and so I moved to Phoenix, and I work, I make good money, I travel. I'm about 30 years old, so I feel like I live a great life. Exactly what I was, sort of raised to do was to become sort of a member in society, being able to take care of myself and just be comfortable in this life as I live. So, I do, one thing I am proud of as being a Black American is that, like, I'm so proud of our history and all the accomplishments and all the milestones we were able to meet in this country. So I think that that's something to be proud of, and our contributions to the American society, with it being such a great nation. I think that's something that we should definitely be proud of as Black America.
I believe Samantha was next. What's going on, sister?
What's up, FBA Maroon? Well, peace to the space, peace to the panel. Hi, everybody. Um, what's my Black American experience? Just like the young lady said over experience. This is just me. This is just my experience. I had and have a great experience. I'm originally from Louisiana, but I grew up in Texas, so I come from a Southern background. My parents were married. My grandparents were married. My grandparents were married 57 and a half years. 13 children, 67 grandkids, 44 great grandkids. My grandparents, were again married 57 and a half years before they passed away, 4 months within each other. My parents were married, they worked and they did everything they could to make a great life for us. Being from Louisiana, we had the little, YT people, whatever. But, my people, fought in every war. They was riders. They stood on business. So, if there was an issue, they handled it. You understand what I mean? So when we moved down here to Texas, it was a little bit different, but, we wasn't a scary, group of people. My parents did everything that they could to make sure that we were in a safe environment as much as it could be. And, now I'm of course a full grown adult. I have a grown son of my own, and I've done everything to make sure that he's, straight. I sent him to, private school. He went to college. He's an IT tech now. It's a really great life. I will tell you something. The only time that I've ever experienced racism, like face to face, other than on the internet, was from a Hispanic person. They called me an N-word with the hard R. That was the only thing that I've ever went through. But other than that, I had a really great experience, and I wouldn't be anything other than Black. And I'll just land right there. That's all I have.
Guess we can just have open panel till she comes back. Did everybody respond to the prompt?
No, I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
do it. I didn't
Oh,
yet, but
okay.
I'm
Oh,
gonna wait till
well,
Miss Love get back. I'm gonna wait till she get back.
okay. Leonard, you can respond to the prompt.
Yeah, I was just saying pretty much I coerced earlier and gave my input on something in regards to the situation, but I'm gonna say this for the most part. I know y'all ladies wasn't coming on hard to the lady earlier about, us not being from Africa thing. Reason being is, and that conversation needs to be brought up more. Reason being because I don't feel like Africans, when they come to America, I don't feel like they treated the same as us. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's very important for us to talk about that because it specifies in this topic the Black American experience, not African American experience or African experience, nothing of that nature, because we know that most of us are not from Africa. You know what I mean? So I understood. I just wanted to bring that up, ladies. That's all.
You know,
Well,
even
I
if the thing with that whole African American thing, that's what I really would like for Black. I want Black Americans to talk about that more because when if it's literally you're defining yourself wrong if you say that you are an African American because in order to, like I said, in order to be an African American or an Italian American, you're an immigrant. You're an
Exactly.
immigrant. We
Right.
are citizens of this country. We are simply Americans. But it's
Right.
like I said earlier, the whole race thing, it's American. And nobody outside of America historically uses black and white to as identifiers.
Right.
That's native to America. So, and like I said, if you were to go to the continent, nobody over there is saying I'm black. They're gonna tell you I'm Kenyan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm from the
Mm-hmm.
what is that? Ghanaian.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Right.
They
Rwandan. They
rep their
don't
tribe. They
say
rep their
that.
tribe. They rep their
They don't
tribe.
speak like that.
Yeah.
Right. They'll tell you what country they from and then they'll go in
Yep.
even deeper and tell you what tribe they from. So that is
Mm-hmm.
if you're calling yourself an African American, that's all I was saying. You're identifying yourself as an immigrant. You're identifying yourself wrong. If you are a citizen, natural born citizen of America, you're an American, and because we have Black America, White America, and the whole race thing, you'll hear people because white people don't even say I'm a white American. They just I'm American. So that's why
Right.
I'm
Right.
even an advocate for just saying I'm American.
Right.
Because
well,
I mean, you could see my skin color. I don't have to tell you that I am black. So
right.
honestly, I'm just an American.
And that
That's
plane
So
sight.
all.
so
Yeah, there you
well
go. Thank you.
the thing The thing about it in this time right now, it is a time of truth. We're living in a time of truth, okay? Where the truth has to come out from every corner of this aspect of the way that they establish these lies. We have to break the barrier by speaking truth in this time. You know, that is going to be very, very important as far as establishing who we are as a people in this country. The truth has to come out. And also, you know, they have constructed whole rhetorics behind lies, and were able to benefit from these lies solely on the fact that they were left unchecked and uncorrected. And it is very, very important that we check, you know, every lie that was told right now is just very essential that we do it. So, and we have to hold each other accountable when we hear something. Like I said, correction is love. It's not to put anyone down. It is to break down the barriers of lies, you know, and deceit. So, you know, everything has to come to the forefront. Everything has to be exposed in this time because it's just essential for our people right now.
Also, sis,
True.
that rhetoric, you're right. Everything you just said is on point, and that is why we do need to educate each other. That is the same reason that these white tea people can run around and say go back to Africa, because they created that lie. Okay, and so we have to check it. And some of our people are just not ready to hear it. They're not ready to accept it. Some of them
And
just
now,
want, yeah, some of them just
And
want to stay in delusion.
and this
yep.
is another reason why they were able to steal the land and steal your inheritance and your birthright by you
Mm,
um accepting the lies and it's being left unchecked. You have to check it. And you know, these people are banking on our people to stay in the dark and, you know, to continue on, you know, walking a path of deceit with them. This was the whole trick from the beginning. So now we have to continue to spread the truth no matter what. I mean, there's some of our people that will be offended, but in due time, you know, hopefully that they'll one day open their eyes and see, you know, exactly what we're saying is true. And that's it. I'll end with that.
Okay,
American,
and
real quick.
Even the
can I
Ria,
add
real,
to that?
yeah, right after this, Sam. Should we let up this next person, Lanice, who is up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead, Samantha.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say, and also to add to piggyback off of what you ladies just said, African American is another form of erasure, and by them putting that stigma on us, because that's exactly what it is, because that's not who we are. In the 80s, you know, it allowed these Africans, now that when they come over, it's a form, now they come over here and they try to do what they did, you know, back with the Siberians, you know, with us, you know, but that's a different story. As far as the indigenous people, it's another form of a destiny swap. So that's, you know, just like you guys said, we have to check it, because that's not who we are. You know, it's another form of erasure that they're trying to introduce to us. And if we don't put our real history out there, and a lot of these Ellis Islander YT people, you know, that's who they think we are. We have to put everybody in check so that we don't have to deal with this anymore. So I agree with what you guys are saying wholeheartedly. It's always been about erasure. It's always been about the land. It's always been about us. So we have to continue to stand 10 toes down and, you know, keep pushing the truth out forward. And I'll land right there. Thank you for letting me speak.
Even the Bible says in Hosea 4:6 that my people will be destroyed due to lack of knowledge. We have to empower ourselves with knowledge and wisdom. We have to take it up on ourselves to do our due diligence in our research, our family background, our family history, or else they will keep getting away with this. Go back to Africa, all these lies and that they have spread it like the devils they are.
And the Bible clearly also tell us to study to show thyself approved. So if you don't, if listen, the Bible also tells us to that we must worship in spirit and in truth. Okay, so it is impossible if you claim that you serve God, that it is impossible for you to serve God if you're not telling the truth. Okay.
And all, yeah, and
Hold
also
on
I
real
wanted to
quick,
add,
because
I
we
ain't
need
want
to
to cut
move
you off.
on.
Oh,
10
go ahead,
seconds. 10
Mo.
seconds.
Go
No,
ahead,
go
real
ahead. 10
quick.
seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, bro. No, I just want to say this, throw this out there, y'all. There's an old interview with Muhammad Ali, and he was speaking. I don't know if you guys saw it. And he was specifying how he was young before he got on as a celebrity. He was told no to go into this little restaurant. It was a white restaurant. They used to always turn him down as a kid. He used to always want to go in and eat cheeseburgers. And then he said one day he seen an African person go right up in there and they embraced him with love, like the way they just treated him. So from then he was just saying he learned that it was more of a political move, more so than the racial thing. See, Africans have always had it better than us because it's more political. So if people really know the truth, that's like saying, hey, we're not connected to Caribbeans and Jamaicans and Haitians. So just to ignore that and just put it all in Africa, nah, that's the math ain't mathing. So after a while, it become quite obvious that they did a number on us in regards to mind altering us to think we was from somewhere else. But really, we was birthed here.
Yep. Shout out to that.
FBA Maroon, can I just give me 5 seconds? Let me add to that.
Hold
The
on one
reason
second.
why,
Hold on,
Be
Samantha.
cool.
Hold on, y'all.
Go
One
ahead.
second. We got to get to this next
Yeah,
guest.
we got to keep it moving. But go keep that thought, Samantha. Miss Lanice, you want to come off your mic and answer the
I'm here.
prompt? Yeah, you want to answer the prompt?
Yeah. I think it would have been better if the question was, what is your experience as a Black person in America? Um, I've heard a lot of people so far, trying to define what other people call themselves. And I don't think that's proper, because we have all kinds of interethnic marriages that have taken place within the United States. I call myself an African American. That's what I call myself. Okay. My parents are from chattel slavery in South Carolina and Georgia. Okay. I grew up in New York City. Went to school there, went to college in upstate New York, graduate school in upstate New York, and then moved to South Carolina. And after that, I've been traveling around the world as an international science teacher, and I've had nothing but positive experiences out in the world. The worst experiences, of course, were in the US. I never had any kind of overt racism or disrespect because I'm Black, an African American, or female. And so currently, I started out teaching in the U.S. Then I went to Egypt. Then I went to the Emirates. Then I went to Kazakhstan, and now I'm in Cameroon, and I get nothing but excellent treatment wherever I go. So sometimes, when we look at our experiences, it really depends on our age and where we grew up and how we lived. And I think, traveling broadens our perspectives about things in the world. So I think more people should get some courage and get a passport and travel the world. I mean, really travel Don't just go as a tourist to Paris and come back, or London. Go places and you will see that the world is not the way CNN projects it for you.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. What does that have to do with what was said to you? I'm just really confused, and I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. And I apologize if you feel I am, but I'm just trying to understand with what you're saying has any correlation to what was just said to you. Because
Saying
many
anyone
of
said
us,
anything to
hold
me.
on one
I
second,
didn't say, I
hold on.
didn't say,
We're not going to have a screaming match. It's too early. What I'm saying to you is many of us do travel, and but that has nothing. So the more you travel, the more you realize that you're not African. So I don't understand anyway.
No, American. I see what you're saying though. It's just the fact that we need to take. It's just like they say, you got to clean up your house before you go outside of it. To even go outside of your house, you got to make sure the inside clean. So even in the states of America, we never did that. You know what I'm saying? We just went along with, hey, let's go here, let's go here. We never got it right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can't FBA Maroon. I still don't see Soul's
I don't see it
her
either.
mic.
I was trying to invite her, but I couldn't even do that. But I don't know what's going on, so I don't know. Phil and then Samantha. Actually, yes, Samantha, you might as well go and finish your thought, and then Phil right after her. Go ahead, Samantha.
No, I just wanted, while I still have it fresh on my mind, I wanted to add on to what
Wait a minute, hold on, Samantha. Hold on.
okay.
Is people are they able to tell their Black American experience? And I think Phil, he the one changed to the cooch pitch. Phil, come off mic.
Okay, yes, I am.
Yeah, I think this is don't this same picture. You could let me see how many followers you got. Oh, maybe this a different picture, but this same picture comes up here and puts the cooch pitch in there.
It might have been a different
I
profile he was
I was
under.
gonna say too, in order to tell like if they fake accounts, you could look at what level gifter they are. If they're not any kind of gifter, then it's probably a fake page.
Okay, listen, I came back. I gotta go again, but we letting the people tell they Black American experience, right?
Yeah, we've been going through people. I just didn't want to let up this happy butt person because it just looked bad. That's the
Y'all
reason why I didn't let
good?
him up.
I just want to check on y'all. Y'all good? Because we want the people, even if we don't agree, we want them to be able to come up and
Yeah,
tell they personal Black American experience, even if we don't agree. Okay, y'all.
and I'm gonna land that plane
Appreciate
too. It's been long waited, but I'm landing planes right here.
Okay, I normally start with 2 minutes. Let them get 2 minutes. Set the clock. Y'all can set the clock. We had an incident in the house, y'all. So go ahead.
Okay,
I'll be
we got
back.
you, sis.
All right.
All good. Samantha, like I said, you want to finish your thought, and then Phil, we're gonna get right to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Leonard said. As far as the Africans, the reason to me, and I know that you guys know this too. The reason why those Africans are so were so welcomed and with open arms over here, because they are more of a docile people. They're not fighters. They're runners. I don't mean any disrespect, but that's the truth. They're fleers. They're runners, and we have fought this whole 500 years that we have been with these people. So of course they're going to try to welcome a more docile people with the same pigment as us and try to destiny swap. So that's what that's about, and that's why they put that jacket on us. And I'll land right there.
Awesome, Phil. You want to go ahead and answer the prompt?
Okay, my experience as a African American, but I I actually like the term Afro American. When I was living abroad, uh, I would have to refer to myself in Spanish as Afro American because everybody with African descent would say Afro Colombian, Afro whatever. So that's what everybody says. So yeah, but my experience. Oh, and I do want to look into why I thought Jesse Jackson came up with that term. I thought he coined it, but I just looked that up, and It said that someone else, they said he didn't coin the term. It was from 1782 from a Philadelphia sermon. So I need to research that more. But that is an interesting topic. I grew up in I went to a Lutheran school, predominantly white school in Milwaukee. And then in about the sixth grade, I moved to the suburbs, and it was predominantly all white. And that's when I really first started coming across racism. They would say things like, they would call my name and say, "Hey, Phil, don't trip over your lips." Or they would make like whipping sounds with their mouth, like with, like the lash of a whip. They would make that kind of sound. And then it was always, whenever I went to lunch, they would always talk about, oh, he wants his cornbread, he wants his watermelon, he wants his fried chicken. So I had to, just so they wouldn't bother me, I had to bypass all that food that I wanted. And then when I got to high school, I didn't have it. I wasn't hearing any of that stuff. I guess the kids are a little bit more mature, but it was really weird. I was in the lunch line, and I had passed the watermelon slices like I normally do, even though I wanted one. And the lunch lady was looking at me with her mouth open, and she had this thick German accent. And she said, "You don't want your watermelon?" And I was like, "Oh my God, no, she didn't say that." But there was a line of people right behind me, and says that, "You don't want your watermelon?" I said, "No, ma'am. I'm trying to give her my money." And she says, "Oh, you must get enough of that at home." So that was like probably the most racist thing that I've heard. Like I said, I did live abroad in Puerto Rico for about 8 years. I took my son there when he was in kindergarten. He he picked up Spanish like right away as a kindergarten. And then we came back to the United States, and I started teaching Spanish, and then we left again and moved to Colombia, and we stayed in Colombia for about 10 years. So now I'm back. I'm back in the United States, and yeah, I love it. I love the United States, but actually, I kind of prefer Colombia more just because of the temperatures, like 80 degrees all year round, and there's no tropical storms or hurricanes or anything like that. So that said, I land my plane.
Hey Phil, let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
When did your family get here?
Um, I know my great grandparents were slaves as children. So I've seen pictures of I've on Facebook. Some of my cousins have sent like pictures of our great ancestors, and some of them were white. I take it they were the slave masters, but I take it that I'm a descendant of one of the African slaves, or some of the African slaves.
Okay.
Say, never mind. Go. Hey, Miss Soul, how you doing today? How you doing? We're gonna move on.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Where your mama and them from, Phil?
Mother is from Birmingham, Alabama. Interesting little story. She said she hated that she had to sit on the back of the bus, but my grandmother would always tell her, "We don't want no problems." My father is from Moulton, Alabama. You probably never heard of that little small town.
Oh, cause you have an accent, but it's cool.
Oh, okay. Like what kind of accent?
Not of American.
Does it sound like does it sound like Spanish at all or no?
Yeah, it does. You sound Latino to me.
Oh no, yeah. I was born in Mississippi, Gulfport, Mississippi, and grew up in Milwaukee and Mequon.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta
Oh,
rotate one person down though. I think Leonard, can you come back up? We gotta let
Yeah,
someone another guest up.
yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All right.
you want me to read the prompt?
I want to know your Black American
Oh,
experience. So,
child, let me
oh
give it to
yes, I
y'all.
want to know. I want to know it all.
Okay, let me give it to you. Okay, so what's your Black American experience? Just adapting to change, really, and accepting challenges, pushing through even when I didn't want to. Growing up in Louisiana, moving to Texas, it was a big, it was different for me because I'm a small town girl and Texas is big, right? But just raising my children in a whole different environment and just being resilient through it all, through adversity, just standing my ground and just doing what I have to do to survive, you know? So yeah, it's I ain't gonna say too much on here, but yeah, just being able to adapt no matter how hard life gets, not being docile, standing strong, being tough, even when I'm weak. That's my Black American experience.
I had a question for before we get to the thing, just to, I guess you could say, rebuttal y'all. Because I've never been to Louisiana. That's one of the, well, I lied. I drove through, but I didn't get to stop and like stay and look at everything and to see all the culture. For Soul and Samantha, what is it like growing up around, Super Sunday, some of those Black Indian people? I love watching the dude Flag Boy Giz on YouTube and listen to his music in the car. But what is it like actually being there, with the second line and all those things over there, growing up in that culture as a Black American?
So as a Black American, I'm from a small town called Lake Charles, right? And so we used to have Super Sunday at the Civic Center. It wasn't as big as New Orleans, and it was only black and white. So on Sundays, when they allowed it, before people started to move in our city, we used to just pull up at the Civic Center this close to the beach, and the kids would be out there. They'll be showing off their cars. It's just like a big cookout for the whole city. We came together. We had community. And then it's like the more we came together, the cops would come and try to shut us down, and they stopped it, So it's not as big as it is in New Orleans because Lake Charles is close to Texas. But yeah, we had community, and we didn't have to know you to offer you barbecue or to feed you. We just was family. If you from the city, we feed you. You family. That's how it was. We had togetherness, FBA.
And so I'm from Shreveport.
Hold on one second,
Okay.
Samantha. Let me see who this is real quick. Happy Butt. You want to come off your mic?
Okay.
Okay. When did your family get here to the United States?
Oh, but my family
Are
has
you
been
Black
here.
American? Yes or no?
Well, you can call me that. I'm black, I guess.
Okay.
For me, it's unimportant.
Why you got that
Well,
kind of name?
pardon? Oh,
Why do you have that kind of name?
I picked it up when I signed on to the web. That's about it. It's
Okay. You want to respond to the prompt?
okay. Well,
For Samantha,
firstly,
real quick, and
I've
then
listened to
Oh, it was Samantha's turn. I'm sorry,
yeah, yeah.
FBA Maroon. I
No,
just
no,
want
you
to
good,
see
you
who
good.
this
I'm ready to
was.
get to the next person too. We on the same time, so.
Okay, I apologize. Hold on one second, Happy Butt.
Oh no, FBA Maroon. Just to answer your question, same thing. I'm from Shreveport, and we didn't dress in the guards or whatever. But yeah, we would definitely celebrate. We would mostly go by the lake, go fishing, hunting and things like that. It's always community, but we respected their culture, down there in New Orleans. So we didn't dress up in the guards or whatever, but we definitely celebrated with them. So we are very respectful of each other's cultures, and because that's just not our specific culture that it is down there in New Orleans, we just respect theirs, but we celebrated it with them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome. Just let you know, Miss Loves, where we're at is Tell the Think Tank came up, and then Happy Rear
Happy
End
butt.
came up here. Yeah, so
Okay. All right. So it's Phil's turn.
Phil went already. Tell the Think Tank and Happy But haven't gone. They just came up here.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
All
let
right.
them up here because they both tethers, but Happy But said he's Black American, and Tell the Think Tank, we know he from what,
Okay, well,
Ghana?
let's go with Happy Butt first and figure that out. But Miles, for future, just to let y'all know, when Miles on the stage, y'all sit with each other. Okay. Um. Okay, go ahead. Hey,
Miss
so.
Love, before he start, can I just let FBA know one thing? There's a school called Washington Marion Magnet High School, and it's an Indian school. So that's one of the schools that's left. It was Indians throughout the entire Louisiana, but Washington Marion Magnet High School is the mascot is of an Indian, and they tried to erase us, but we're still there. It was tribes throughout Louisiana. So when you have time, just research that.
I think they still all throughout there, but I'm definitely gonna research that. I think we.
Washington Marion Magnet
Hmm.
High School.
And isn't so is Duval, Michigan. I mean Duval, Florida too.
We
Okay.
over there
Same
too.
thing.
Hmm.
Yep.
Okay, hey, Happy Butt, how you doing today?
Oh, pretty well. Firstly, let me tell you my conclusion. Okay, and I got this from my granddaughters. I think my main gripe is I think history is written wrong. You know, not everything is correct when history, about history. Everything I see now is about, and I don't have anything against him, is Martin Luther King. They only write about Martin Luther King. There were other leaders that had big parts in this country, and my
Yeah, you
grandchildren,
might be one of ours. Go ahead.
my
Happy
grandchildren,
Butt.
they go to school and all they learn is Martin Luther King or whatever. They don't know about Thurgood Marshall, about Angela Davis, about Stokely Carmichael. And they're all forgotten. Now, to get to my point, I was born in 1946 in Hot Springs, Arkansas, Southern Jim Crow, about 52 miles from Little Rock. I was there when Daisy Bates, the Little Rock, what is it, 9-5, whatever, and difficult times. I've gone through difficult times, and the church, the black church, had a big part in us coming to where we are today. I remember I would go to church, and see, a lot of people don't know the first African American in Arkansas that went to the University of Arkansas. You just don't go; you need money, and she didn't. She didn't have any money, but we took up collections on Sunday so that she could go. The reason the preacher was always involved because he couldn't be touched financially. And, it was one of those things. As far as books are concerned, we there was a saying, boy, get an education. Education is vital. Get yourself an education. Well, because we were segregated in schools, I went to a black elementary school, but as everything, it was the best. It was best for me because I had hands-on experience. There were 6 people in my class, and the white curriculum was completely off. They didn't get what we got. When I went to the junior high school, the teachers, they were very good teachers. They taught me Shakespeare. I was learning French, different
Wait a minute,
subjects to
Happy
prepare
Butt.
myself.
Was that a all black school? It was all black
Yes,
teachers.
it was. Okay, what
Wow.
happened? What happened was the school board would give out books. The books would be taped up or whatever. So the leaders in my community got together, the church leaders, and they wrote out a curriculum, especially for black kids. There were 2 bookstores in the town, and the white people, they were readers, and they provided us with a curriculum. So therefore, when we got out of high school, we were ready. I can remember going to the service. That was another thing. See, the draft was entirely different than it is now. You had local draft boards, and it was a thing about money. It was changed later. I think LBJ changed it. They had each local draft board had a quota that they had to fill every month. Oh, and by the way, when I finished high school, Vietnam was going on. You did one of three things. You got a job, you would go to school, or either you would join the military. And that's another thing. The military, we had what you call, you had guys in the military, and they were lifetime guys. And the blacks in the military, you didn't see any black officers at all. I saw one black officer, and I think he was a general, and they sent him from base to base. Chappie James was his name. I happened to be in California at that time. And I saw Angela Davis. I saw Cecil Chavez. I saw the Hammond brothers. And these people, they fought. A lot of people, just write history correctly. A lot of people don't know. And I'm not for violence, but the night that Martin Luther King died, there was violence all over this country. So look it up. And then during Vietnam, if you went to Vietnam, Muhammad Ali was prevalent he had a big force with the young black soldiers, and a lot of people don't know they had a prison especially for black soldiers in Vietnam. You never heard that story, have you? Okay, and you'd come home, and it was the Muslims were in the South. Who was that guy in the South? I forget. On the West Coast, you had the Black Panthers, which they started, I believe, Meals on Wheels. In the East Coast, you had Malcolm X and that movement. In the South, you had, excuse me, my grandchildren are knocking.
I need salt. No, we need toothpaste. Tell them to help you out with your TikTok, OG, so then we don't think you a talent.
They're young grandkids. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead in the next room. Go ahead in the next room.
I need toothpaste. Okay. Right there.
They are lucky to have you.
Yes, yes.
Record your stories so that they can keep them when they get older.
Okay. That's another story. My wife and I'm 80, and my wife is 78, and we have our grandkids staying with us. That's a different subject, but at any rate, that angers me that the stories aren't being told correctly, especially what happened in the latter 50s and latter 60s.
Excuse me, Happy, but
okay.
Excuse me, can I ask you we probably got some questions for you, and I'm
Sure.
glad this space is recorded so we can always look back and we can listen to an elder. Happy, but back then, was y'all calling yourself Africans? Like, did your
No.
mother or grandmother or anybody ever give you the African story, like, with a slave ancestor or anything?
We were called coloreds. We were called Negroes. And I can remember when this black thing came out, a lot of us, we didn't know any better. Somebody would say, "Oh, you're black." No, I'm not black. I'm a Negro. Blackness wasn't in then. But Negro wasn't then either. I went to a college. The college was, we called it AM&N. Now it's University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And I saw Sam Cooke there. When the record came out, A Change Is Going to Come. Beautiful. And we were mad at that Otis Redding because he messed the song up. He took the entire meaning from the song and turned it into I hate to be a bigot, turn it into a white classic. But we would cry. We would cry, and I saw great athletes. I saw Grambling,
Okay, wait a
and
minute. Hold on, Happy Butt, because people got some questions. So your family never, just for clarity, they never told you African slave story, or said
mm,
told you you came from Africa. Your ancestors came from Africa.
no, my auntie, and she was the oldest one. She was born in 1890. And my dad was a really I can say bright skinned guy, and my last name they came from Rome, Georgia, and they to them I would see them often, and to them Kool Aid was a miracle.
So wait a minute. So did they ever tell you your family been here? You was indigenous, or did they say you had Indians in your family or something like that?
No, I never traced it and then also where I came from, I didn't see any Mexicans coming up. I didn't see any Indians, but Indians were around. They were Quapaws. They lived in the mountain. They didn't want anything to do with any white culture or anything like that. And they
Right.
would
Okay. So they definitely didn't tell you you was an African, right?
no,
Okay.
no.
Hold on. Black Queen got a question. We got some questions for you. Hold on, Happy Butt. Go ahead, Black Queen.
First, I just want to give a round of applause for our elders. We are so
Yes.
blessed
Thank
to
you.
still have them around. I want to know, did you experience, because I know my grandpa was from Mississippi and he was known to be a Choctaw, right? His land was taken from him by the Triple K. They sent a message and told him if he didn't have his family and himself out of there by the next day, that they would all be unalived. And I just want to know, did you experience any of that in your time? You there, Happy?
Yeah. Unmute yourself. Hit the mute button, Happy Butt. You just had background noise, so I had to mute you. It sounds funny calling the elder Happy Butt.
No.
Listen.
He probably don't know
Can
how to unmute, Miss Love.
right. I
Okay,
sent them.
it's on now.
Oh, okay.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Did you
But
hear?
I've had several week experience. I can remember coming home from the service, military, and where I lived, blacks didn't have jobs. I did manage to get a job at the post office, and I think I worked there around 5 years. And we, one day we and go ahead. I'm talking to my grandson.
I'm sorry, real quick. Well, what did they do for work? How did they get money?
Who are you talking about getting money?
You said the
Oh,
blacks didn't have jobs, right?
oh no, no, no. Blacks, they had menial jobs, waiters, porters, menial jobs. But we were more together than we are now. I think I heard a lady said that, we forget where we come from. Never forget where you come from. The one thing I could go to any city, and the first thing I would look for would be another black man, and you could depend. They would tell. Also, that's another story. If you went to a small town, they had a bell in town, and they would ring that bell to let you know to let everybody know that a black man was in town. You could go from hot springs, and this was during
Phil,
the
we gonna
50s.
rotate you down, y'all. We got people in the queue, but go ahead, Happy. But we
Yeah,
gonna.
you could leave Hot Springs and go and you made sure you left.
Okay,
Did you have to
Samantha.
use the green book, Mr. Happy Butt?
Oh.
think he got a phone call.
Oh, they used the green book, and that book would allow them to travel from town to town without having to experience so much racism.
Right.
Yeah, we probably need a green book, some sort of book today
I agree.
with black owned businesses.
I agree, Miss Love.
Yes.
Another thing that can I jump in while he's on? Another thing that
Yeah,
that bill also represented was in a lot. It was placed in a lot of sundown towns too. And you know how the saying, be home before the street lights come on.
yeah.
When that bell ring, that bell also symbolized that make sure that you're all of us are in the house before the sun goes down, because it was in a lot of sundown towns. And I want him to confirm that too. But when he comes back, I have another question. But I just wanted to add that.
Okay, we're gonna
Thank
have
you.
to rotate Happy Butt if you don't come off mic soon. Happy Butt. Okay, go ahead, CB. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I feel lucky to have heard Mr. Happy
Well,
Butt's story. That was awesome.
right. Hold on. Happy Butt, are you here with us now? Okay, we're gonna rotate him. You can come back up, Happy Butt. Go ahead, CB.
Yeah, no, no, I really do feel lucky to listen to that, because I think a lot of those kind of stories are going away, not just because our elders are going by the wayside, but there's a concerted effort to suppress those types of perspectives. Even the idea that the leaders weren't just Martin Luther King, like the people that have been exalted at this point. There's a very intentional effort to push down the other stories. And man, I want to hear more about that. But so I was looking at this topic. I really like this idea. What is your Black American experience? The other day everybody was talking about their favorite Kool-Aid and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like this is in the same vein as that, because we all have differences but similarities because of our Black American experience. I grew up in Indiana. I grew up in South Bend, which is like an hour and 15 from Chicago, right around Lake Michigan in the 90s, the late 80s and then the 90s. And we were just far away enough to be country, but we were close enough to Chicago to try to inherit some of the coolness of like R. Kelly and Twista and all those different Chicago influences. And so we had our own little bubble of almost like black hillbilly-ish type stuff, right? Because it wasn't a prosperous, rich environment. It was one of those places where the factories were closing. And so you had a lot of broken homes and people that didn't have their parents, a lot of people being raised by their grandparents and their aunts and uncles. But, through some very strong leadership that was coming from the late 30s, early 40s, like younger Black leaders in the community, they would do after school programs for us, and they would do summer programs for us. We had the free lunch programs and all that stuff. And so we were really together. Our Black community was really, really close. I didn't necessarily grow up in the church, but that didn't really stop anything. We had our whole community was within the 10 blocks of my neighborhood. And that's where I got my first job. That's where I bought my first car, and that's where I went away to college. And so, when I think about my Black American experience, it's Indiana in the country, but it wasn't like, when I look back on it, it wasn't like this super oppressed experience. I think we thrived and we grew where we were. I was a first generation. I'm a first generation college student. All of my sisters are too. I'm one of five. We all went to university. My parents did not, so they, were very proud of us. And we all have professional jobs now. And we all left Indiana except for one of them. One of us is a social worker, and she's trying to give back to South Bend. but I'm in Orlando. I got a sister in Louisville, got a sister in Dallas, and we really owe the toughness and the ruggedness of that environment, but also the togetherness and the inspiration of the Black community, the digging deep that our parents did to give us the ability to be the first ones in our families to get on a plane and eventually leave and grow the branches of our history outside of Indiana. So that's my story.
Thank you, CB, for sharing your story. We appreciate you and thanks for all your support. You and Samantha, thanks all y'all. You okay? Miss Pat, how you doing? Miss Pat, you want to unmute? Miss Pat, you want to unmute?
Yes, hello, hello. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's okay.
Hold on, just a minute.
Okay, we'll go
No,
to
no,
the
no,
next
no. I'm
person while
good.
you
I'm
get that.
good.
You
I'm
good?
good.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
good.
okay,
I'm good.
okay.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm an elder. I'm 72. I grew up in California. So my perspective is a different perspective than um people that were in the South. But my family is from Louisiana. All my family's from Louisiana or Georgia or South Carolina. And my experience is I learned how to deal with this like what would I call it? This state of, I would say, emergency of a country when I was 8 years old. When we found my mom unalived in the bed, and there's three of us, and I'm the middle child, and that makes when things like that happen to you, you have to learn how to survive. And I think it was a combination of the unseen God, whatever you want to call the source, the spirit, whatever, and my ancestors that are in my DNA that helped me to be to where I am today, and some other relatives. And then when I had to, after she died, passed away, then we had to go live with our grandmother, who was, I found out later, was my great aunt. And then 4 months later, she unalived. And then we had to go through the courts, and it's just a long story. But to make a short story short, when I was in school, the Indians were our color, a reddish color, and thick hair, and they were always the Indians when you looked at the black and white television. We didn't have it, and my family, we come from a family that they had their own home. My mom didn't, because my mom, we were on welfare because we had different fathers. So we grew up on welfare where you had to hide things, I remember my mom hiding things, like blankets over furniture, because back then you couldn't have things that you have today on welfare. So my mom was also, she didn't have a social security card, she didn't have a birth certificate. So that caused issues for her. I didn't realize this until most recently when I started doing my genealogy. So, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. So even going to school there, when we start integrating schools, I went to a school that was in a predominantly rich area there in San Francisco. And they when we saw in the books, they did have the YT kids in the C. Jane Run and all that. Those were all white kids. But when I got older and we started doing our history, the history books always portrayed the peasants and the serfs being of the white tea. It wasn't us. No one in my family has ever said that we came from Africa. They knew we didn't come from Africa. I come up from a family that are in the Prince Hall. So if you have ever been to a Prince Hall funeral, you will understand what I mean by we're not being Africans or from Africa. So we when the 70s came, and I grew up When we had to go live with other relatives, we grew up in San Francisco, and it was in a predominantly Negro area. I mean, everywhere. We're Negro doctor, Negro. This is in San Francisco. We had Negro barbers. We had Negro grocery stores. We had Negro firemen. We had ice cream shops. All Negro bookshops. Negro. If you know the Fillmore, all the businesses up there, from doctors, dentists, all Negro people. And then you ask yourself, well, who taught them if it was segregated? And who taught the other people? And who taught them if it was segregated? We taught ourselves. We had our own schools, and they were top-notch schools. So, my aunt that raised me, who is actually my third cousin, they had to.
Miss
So,
Pat.
anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I got a question. Miss Pat, so did your family ever tell you y'all came from Africa, or did they ever talk about the African ancestors or anything?
No, never, never. In fact, I asked one of my cousins. She was in her 80s. I said, are we from Africa? And she said, girl, what are you talking about? No, we Indians. So, that's what she told me. And even my mom, when I did my genealogy and I put my mom's name in, and birthday, and when she was unalived and all that, she came up as being on the bottom of the list of a Hopi tribe, being she was given up for adoption and stuff like that. So my actual grandmother, by blood, I don't know. I'm still trying to find who she is. But my grandfather had his own business in the 30s, the 20s. When I have a picture of my grandfather, and I'm 72, and my grandfather standing up tall, he has on a suit, a bow tie, and a straw hat, standing against the wall. And that was my mom's father. And he, for whatever reason, um, they didn't tell me this information. I had to find this out for myself. And my mom, like I said, she died when I was 8. Unalive. So no one ever said that and about us. And then my other grandmother, my great 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 grandmother, was in through the census records. I found her through the Catholic Church in Louisiana. She was found by the Red River. She was an Indian, 12-year-old Indian girl, and that's what they put in there. And that's the one they were trying to hide. They're still trying to hide her, but I found her after years and years of researching. And that was and they call, in Ancestry, is calling her an unknown slave. But yet, in her description, it says, asked if anybody was of African descent, and it said no. She was an Indian girl, 12 years old. And
Miss
I
Pat,
noticed,
did you go to school with any Africans? Not to cut you off.
no. I went to my graduating class in 1972. We had 900. We had high and low. So at that point, when you're graduating, you're in the high 12. Nobody. The only one that may have looked like an African was an Ethiopian guy, and it was only one of him. And he almost looked a little bit like us. He don't look like the regular Ethiopians that you see today.
Turban on.
No, he did not. He had afro.
Wow.
Wow.
We did not. And I'm telling you this too. Anybody that was white tea, they either had an afro and was pale, or they had some type of waves in their hair.
White tea people with an afro?
Yes.
Yeah, the Italians. Yep. She's not
Wow.
lying. And Irish. Yep.
Irish. And the Irish too.
That's and then so they start, and then we had people like from Arabia, those people, but they were they're people. I noticed one of them, and they came into our area, kept setting up businesses, and one day one of the daughters came to school, and she was saying that her dad was SHOT, and he had like a little store on the corner, but I think someone tried to ROB him. But yeah, even on my birth certificate, my mom and dad is
Okay,
just like,
hold on, Miss Pat. Samantha, we're gonna rotate you down. You can come back up though, sis. We just gotta bring somebody else up.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, you can come back up though.
Okay.
All
So they wasn't migrating. They wasn't invading the country in your time, Miss Pat, right?
Not invading. As let me think from what I can see, think about back then. If that I was on a field trip when President Kennedy was unalived, and in our school it was integrated. Nobody was going around calling you. You had some people that would call us, NIGG. You know what I'm saying? But as far as coming from Africa and stuff like that, nobody said that. Even
So
the
they
white people,
didn't
nobody
say
said that.
African booty scratcher. They didn't use that
No,
here.
oh, no, 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 never. Never called us any of those names. The only time we saw anything that looked like an African was on the television, on those cartoons. Even like some of the movies, like you always had to have, people saying, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, that type of stuff.
Wow.
But in California, nobody was saying, when we moved into a predominantly white area, we did have somebody did write on our garage, go home, Nigger, and that was in the late 70s. The
I
late
actually got a
70s.
question, love.
Mm,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and then we go, yeah, Miss Pat. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can ask
Pat,
her a question.
Miss Pat, let me ask you a question. I'm 55, and I want to know if you remember this. Do you remember the Disney cartoon where they had, and Disney has yanked this away real quick, where they had the Africans with the bones in their mouth? It
Yes,
started off
yes, I
in
do.
black and all
Yes.
right. So just so everybody know, when that cartoon first came out, y'all, and you can Google this, you will notice that's when they start really pushing that we African story, y'all, and
Hmm.
that's why we rejected it as a people. But I just wanted to know if you remember that cartoon because a lot of people do not.
And I'm gonna tell you this. Even I had the Panthers would come to our school, and they would pass out their newspapers and things like that. And they start saying that, after that James Brown brought that song out, "Say It Loud," and I'm proud. Our people, and with the music, they use music always to get us, you know, riled up and get our emotions up. So when they start saying, "Say It Loud," I'm black and I'm proud, and holding our fists up, and then you see it on the Olympics, the three gentlemen holding their hands up like that. You know what I'm saying? They use that type of images to put us in that Pan African mode. So I brought home one of the magazines, and it had Huey Newton and um, James Cleveland, Cleve Eldridge, and I put it on my wall in my room. Do you know my family got so mad at me? Don't you put that type of stuff up in there, in your room? And they were offended behind saying, but calling myself black. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we didn't.
What did they want you to? Sorry, Miss Pat. Excuse me.
We were
What?
Negroes. Our
Oh,
colored,
Negroes, right? And
our
color.
colored.
Okay.
That's
So
what we
your
would
family
say.
wanted you
But
to stay Negro.
yes,
Okay, they was proud to
exactly.
be called so black. So they was proud to be called Negro back then.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But you know what happened? That NAACP, the National Advancement for Colored People, that was oh, that was sinister. And my grandmother would give money to those people. They'd have the little organizations and stuff, but they were including the pale Negro, I call them, in there. And they were starting to, because our people are so, sometimes we're just so naive because we're a gentle people and nice people. We can be, what I'm saying, until you get on our last nerve and then you can see another side. But for the most part, we want to help other people. And especially if you grew up around those type of people like we did as children, the people from Louisiana, a lot of them were pale with nappy hair. You know what I'm understand? But then they mix with somebody, one of us, and then, they turn a different, hue. You understand what I'm saying? So those people came in and they start taking over cosplaying. And now look what we have today with that. You called, I even in the 80s, I called and tried to get help from those people. Didn't no one even answer the phone.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Miss Pat. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're
Thank,
welcome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Uh, thank you for coming up, Miss Pat. We gonna
You're
rotate
welcome.
you down. You can always come back
Okay,
up, and I followed you
that's
back,
fine.
Miss Pat.
Thank you. All
You're
right.
welcome. All right. I did that for obvious reasons. I don't know how to stage. I wouldn't want Miss Pat to be in a hostile situation.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I see why.
Goldilocks, how you doing?
Hey, hey, peace to the
Thank
room.
you,
How
Miss
are
Pat.
you?
I'm doing good, Goldilocks. Goldilocks, what's your you Black American, right?
Yes, I'm FBA. I'm from
Yeah, I
Detroit.
thought. Oh, shout out to the 313. I don't know. I think you told me that before. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. This is my second time in this group.
Okay. All right. What's your Black American experience?
So I'm gonna come from a corporate perspective. I'm not gonna like go into everything, but just in the work experience, my Black American experience. I could start with my one of my first jobs when I was younger. I had got hired into a dealership working around a lot of white people, a car dealership, and I had been with the company for quite some time. And I was like new. I was only like 18, 19. And they were basically like low key bullying me, but I didn't know that they were. So this FBA woman, she was older than me and she had got hired in and she started like peeping stuff. And she would say to me like just little stuff like your manager talks to you weird. Like she would say stuff to me like she was like waking me up. And I had no clue. I was like, what you mean? She was like, do you see how she, treats you and talks to you like you're beneath her? I said, no, I don't see. She's like, you're younger and you're gullible. You're not used to this. So I said, okay. So then after a while, this white girl had got hired in. Mind you, I had been with the company for like maybe 2 or 3 years. And the position I was working in, I knew it very, very well. And I was like able to be promoted. They hired this white girl in like, I don't know, maybe for like a month and then promoted her to the position that I was supposed to have. And when the lady, the FBA lady had came in and told me that I was being treated differently, I believed her, but not all the way. Because like I said, I was young. I wasn't used to nothing. And I wasn't used to being around white people. Like I didn't know how they were. So, I was used to the city. So when she told me this and then I seen the white girl get promoted, I was like, oh, she was right. So that's one experience dealing with like corporate and
How did that
another
make you feel, Goldilocks?
this to this day, like I love my FBA sister. I'm friends with her on Facebook. And I'm glad for the awareness. Like it just made me feel just like more wise, I guess the word would be. And like about like their world and how they handle things and how they do things. Like you don't know you at first I felt bad, but over time I felt empowered. I think that's the word I'm trying to use. So, and then it taught me to like trust each other more. Like we really do be out here looking out for each other. We really do be out here like trying to help each other out. Now, the second situation is about an Asian. I worked at like a furniture store in Michigan and the manager at the shop was a young Asian and I was a little bit older. Like when I was in school and stuff, I would like, just try to find jobs to help me stay afloat. So I'm working at this furniture store and me and this Asian guy, we are debating about Black men and Asian men. And it gets a little vulgar. And I say to him, mind you, he's like I think he's the assistant manager at the time. So it gets a little vulgar. And I say to him flat out, like, I'm like, Black men are better because they're more just better in a vulgar way, though. Like, I don't want to say it on, the chat. So I hope y'all get where I'm coming
I get
from
what you
with
mean.
it or
Go
better.
ahead, cook. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
yeah. So he starts to turn red and he's like staring at me and I'm like, well, I mean, we could shut the conversation down. And I went back to work. So I tried to come to work the next day. Why was I fired? Like he literally, I don't know what happened. I called in because at the time I was I don't know, I just called in and I said I was gonna be late or something. I don't
They
know.
hit you with that sexual harassment, low key. You don't
I
never
don't know because
discuss
we didn't even
politics. Never discuss politics. No kind of, you know what I mean? No kind of schmexual, or it can be perceived as schmexual.
Can let
Religion.
people
Then he,
speak?
I feel
Never.
Can
like
somebody?
he should have got hit with it too then,
Yeah,
because
I
my
know, but you know they will flip the script on you.
yeah, he flipped it on me with the
Host, can
quickness.
somebody else?
Hold
Huh?
on, it's still her turn. Go ahead, Goldilocks.
Oh
Hold on, we're gonna get right to you. Go ahead,
yeah,
Goldilocks.
yeah, he flipped it on me with the quickness. I had no clue what was coming. I said, because I thought about it later, and one of my friends that worked at the store was like, "Yeah, he was in his feelings after you said what you had said about black men and Asian men." And I was like, "But I ain't do that but tell the truth." But okay. And I'm like, people have dumb, crazy conversations at work all the time. He should have been fired too. Like we was both young, talking about life, and I told him the truth. So he, anyway. But you right, love. You right.
You
Like
said
people
that
get
little
fired.
schmedium. He rolling around over there with that schmedium. He ain't like you talking about that schmedium, that
I
shrimp.
mean, for real, like for real. And
All right.
like, I mean, I didn't expect him to be that deep in his feelings about it to get me. I'm like you got me fired though. Like all these crazy racist stuff that I go through at this job, you got me fired over the truth. Like, okay, all right, it was cool. Like I moved on with my life and life got better. But it shocked me. So I just learned from experiences. Like I decided, like you said, don't talk about that kind of stuff. And then the last situation I was in, which was more recent.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, Goldilocks. We want to hear your last situation, but hold on. Let us get. You just sit tight, okay? Let us get to the people. Hey neighborhood, how you doing? Neighborhood on tea time. Okay, Dreamer.
I
Put me,
wasn't.
put me,
You good? Okay,
I'm
wait a minute.
trying.
Hold
I'm just
on. He
gonna.
somebody else
back,
talk.
Dreamer. Hold on, Dreamer. He came back. Go ahead, neighborhood.
No, love. I was just gonna say, man. I have done a lot of research, and I've literally tracked my family back all the way. It's literally worth $30,000 with 150 acres of land in 1848. And then they two white neighbors, one of them became a judge and actually labeled her an idiot and stole it from her. And it's all documented. And if it wasn't for one of my ancestors being going over there fighting, because that's where his people were buried, we would have never been able to find the information, y'all. So my folk never said that they were African. They always claimed to be the Blackfoot of the Dan, which I did not know what that meant for a long time. And I was out in Montana, and I was working in Montana, and I came across the Blackfeet Reservation. And I went over there and I was talking to the chief, asking him for permission to move around. And he was like, "What tribe you from?" I was like, "Man, I don't know, but my grandma said something about Blackfoot." And he was like, "She talking about the Soprano of the Dan River." And if he wouldn't have told me that back and I think this was in 2004 or 5, I would have never tracked them back to the Soprano. And once he said that, their records just opened up widely. And again, they were all free the whole time. They had land. And when those other people came over here, they stole from them. And I'm 55, and I don't remember. Never went to no school with no Africans. Hell, it wasn't even no Mexicans or no Latinos here until what? By 86, Jerome? 86. By 80, yeah, by 85, 86. So they late in the game, y'all. They're very late. And that didn't have no like one. Yeah, it was just one in. And so that's all I wanted to say, love, and just coming in. Love your platform. Take care of yourself. One love, FBA.
Thank you. One
Peace,
love.
peace.
The
Be safe out
neighborhood.
there.
All right. Hey, Dreamer. Welcome back. How you doing today?
Well, thank you so much. How are you?
You're welcome. Today we are discussing with our
What?
fellow
Yeah, I
Black
know how to read.
Americans.
You tested my literacy the other day. I know how to read. What's your Black American
What?
experience?
Did he just interrupt you?
He's starting too early, Miss Love. Come up here, correct, Dreamer. Pipe down.
No, it's just you tested my literacy the other day.
Who I
I'm trying
did.
to. We know how to read. We know how to
Wait,
read.
hold
So let me
on.
read.
Hold on. If you want to stay up here and have a decent conversation, I said I wanted a good stream. I'm trying not to come out my body, okay? So when I laugh like that, that's one of my
Ready for
things. You know how,
chaos.
right?
That's
You
the
know how when
holding
you
down.
laugh sometime before you got a pop. You know what I mean? But you be
I know
so
exactly
mad,
what
like,
you
oh, I can't believe it.
No, but for real, host,
But
like,
hold on. So you should be happy. You should be happy, dreamer. Somebody accused you people from Africa of not knowing how to read and write cursive. So I went and got some cursive and I put it on the screen and you proved that you could read cursive. So now you should be happy that everybody can't say y'all can't read cursive. What's the problem with that?
I mean,
You
can you
should
put
be
me?
thanking me.
You welcome, host. You welcome for that.
Okay. Now,
Put
like
me
I was saying,
put 2 minutes on the clock for me.
Man, listen, bro. I'm gonna tell you how this gonna go.
Host,
Hold on. You're not gonna disrespect the host. Now while I'm here. I ain't met you yet, but now you meeting me. Chill out. Answer the prompt. And
host.
he
Everybody
from
get two
Africa
minutes.
too. You
Everybody.
not even one of us. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
the
you, bro. We ain't
entitlement
finna
with
do
me,
that here.
honey. You're too
All
Yeah.
right,
entitled.
put 2 minutes on the clock for me,
You don't
host.
tell me what to do. You don't tell nobody up here what to do. Now you
30,
can answer the
30
prompt,
seconds,
and if you go too
Marucci.
long
All
winded,
right.
we gonna put 2 minutes or 1 minute
No,
probably,
put
because
2 minutes on there.
it
So
seems like you already out your bush meat eating mine, and you're not a black American either way.
Right.
yeah,
And please
just
listen
at least
here, Dreamer. We're not gonna start this disrespectful stuff today. Cause we were having it was good energy in the room, and now
Yeah.
here you come with confusion. We are not about to tolerate this. If you want to have something to say, just do it decently, please.
all right. So, well, what's your Black American experience? You know, honestly, Black immigrants, we won't even consider ourselves Black because that's what's been called to y'all. Africans, they came here, and the Caribbean um, people that are colored, they came here and they worked their asses off. We come here. What's our experience with y'all? Y'all are one of the most, like, not all of y'all, but on TikTok, y'all one of the most nastiest people, disgusting human beings. And it's so sad the way y'all treat us. But in real life, y'all won't do that to.
You really want to get started today? Did you
Yeah.
dish and put on a pamper before you came up here and talked to a
Okay.
Black American?
I'm not done. I'm not done.
What's
Okay,
your
dish and put on a
experience?
pamper.
I'm not done. Let me know I'm not playing, please.
We're not talking about immigrants, Dreamer. We're talking about
So,
what
no,
is your
what's your Black
experience?
American experience,
No,
right?
yours, boo. What's yours?
Yeah,
Please tell us
yeah,
what's
love.
yours.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. My Black. So let me tell you. I worked with First of all, I was her manager for like several years. I was her manager. Black American, always late to work, never on time, always want to complain, but always have problems with immigrants. It really killed me. It really no, it really HAT me that you feel this way about certain people, but you don't even do the job. These people are doing your job for you.
Okay, listen,
That's the
we
type of people.
understand you
That's my
hurt,
experience.
Dreamer. We understand you hurt. You feel a certain kind of way about delineation. We understand that you might have heard some things said that upset you. Okay. But you can't come here every day and harass us now. We letting you up. I don't know what else you want us to do. You know what I mean? We delineating. And we gonna talk our shit because that's what we do. We Black Americans, we pop our shit. We Negro, we freedmen, we them color folks, as we was learning today. We all that and proud. So I don't know what else to tell you. I'm sorry y'all hurt, but it is what it is. We don't like a lot of things that you guys have came into our country and done. So we're going to talk about it. People going to make memes. We going to have lives. People going to make videos. People going to write books about it. You know what I mean? Y'all going to be seen in a horrible light. And I understand that might be upsetting, but that's just your new reality, dreamer. Okay? So you can unmute and respond, dreamer.
No, host. I don't have a problem. I like to have this dialogue. I love to have this dialogue. Talk about what can immigrants do better.
I think I don't think y'all willing to do it because we need people out there willing to risk their immigration status and get
Hmm.
deported back home. If you ain't willing to risk being deported back to Africa, it's really nothing that you can do for us.
All right. Is that the same way I feel about white immigrants is from my previous
Absolutely. Absolutely,
right?
Dream.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll pray for you. I hope y'all get reparations.
The other day you said you didn't.
No, I pray y'all get those reparations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
It's
I
so
ask you a
sad.
question, Dreamer? What
It's so
changed
it's
your
so
mind
sad.
today?
It's
What
it's so
changed your
sad.
Dreamer? What changed your mind today? Because yesterday you said you don't want us to get it.
I mean, I do pray that y'all get it. Like, I mean, I don't know why I haven't received it yet, but I pray maybe that might bring happiness to y'all. All this HAT that y'all have for Africans and stuff. That might bring it for y'all. I feel that's what's gonna happen.
Do you get off on shifting the energy on each panel? Like, is that your motive every day? Just to be negative? I don't get it.
Wait, I'm always positive.
Nothing about you is positive. You
No,
come
I'm
up
always
here every
positive.
day. No. You
I'm
come up
always
here
positive,
every
so
day with negative energy. You got to change yourself in
And
order to see.
so it
Yes,
won't
ma'am.
even tell me what it really is. I don't know if I keep calling it he, y'all call it she, we call it all these things. I don't know. Can you tell us today what are you?
host. First of all, like I don't have to disclose nothing.
Why
What are
not?
your pronouns?
Right.
What do
That
you mean my
that
pronouns?
y'all fought for that to be legal. I want to know what you are. I don't want to keep miss what they call that new stuff they talk about misgendering you or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
that. So what are you? Why are you ashamed to tell
So
us if
is
you're
that is
a
that
boy or a
we'll
girl?
put down on the platform, host. Like
No, I
test my
want to know
literacy.
what you are. Or are
Test
you a
my
trans?
literacy.
I just want to know because I support the LGBT community. You know, long as
Yeah.
I don't support all that kitty stuff though. But if you're a part of the trans community, that's something
Hmm.
we need to know. I wouldn't want nobody trying to
Yeah.
hit on you and then you try to report or something like that because we
No,
don't know
I
what
never.
you
First
is.
of all, I never report. I never report.
Well, I'm saying,
But
what are you?
host, the same way you treated me on the panel the other day when you
I
try to put a
treated you
literacy
nice. You
a
came up to
literacy test
hold
a
on.
literacy test
And
on the
listen, I wasn't the one who said you couldn't read cursive. I was helping
It's
you
Sweet
out.
Wolfie that said
Yeah.
that.
what you did though. You
Well,
showed me
I
that.
helped you out. You should be
You
thankful.
try to make me think I was incompetent.
Sure, Lord, listen, you won't
Sweet
even tell me who you are. You are incompetent. I mean, you
So
won't tell
I'm
me what you
incompetent
are.
now because I'm not telling who
Yeah,
I
because
am.
you won't tell nobody if you're a man or a woman. So you confused to me.
To respect your pronouns,
right.
sir,
Host,
ma'am,
host.
And we're
they,
just
Have
whatever
I
trying
it
ever
to
asked?
is.
Have I ever asked?
listen. We're just trying to respect you as a
No.
person.
Have
What
I
is
ever
so?
asked Miss America who
Wait a
she is?
minute, Dreamer. We're just trying to respect you. We don't want to keep calling you him and her. Just tell us your pronouns.
I don't have to tell nobody my pronouns.
And
Okay.
you
No.
don't need to be in the community because I'm in the community and I don't have lack of self pride. Like, you don't know who you are.
Well,
So
got
I
the
don't have to tell
nerves to
anybody
come
who
up
I
here
am.
and
First
talk
of
to
all,
us
so
every day
that's
about
another.
being nasty, filthy, and
You
everything
you
else
you were
you
nasty
say.
towards me, host.
No, you
When you
came
put
up.
me up there,
Listen, I'm
when you
not
try to
gonna
say, "Can
argue
you
with
read?"
you. I'm not gonna center you. We hope you feel better, Dreamer. We hope you figure
You
out
know,
who you
you
are. We hope you figure out who you are, sir, ma'am. I don't know what you are. Um, you know. So yeah. Thank you. Hey, go Rev. It, whatever the hell it is. Hey, go Rev.
Pronouns is tether.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing,
Hello.
Rev? What's your Black American experience? Sorry you had to witness that. You handled that last night,
Well,
though. It was on
well,
you, though, Rev.
how's everybody doing? I'm trying to bring that
Good.
joy,
Oh, G.
positive energy back.
You've been waiting on this
You
one,
know,
Miss Love. I've been waiting on this one
we
for
ain't
real.
we ain't got time to be doing that no more. We got too much stuff to do. Tell them to stay away and
I got
listen
a
to
little
our
time for
energy.
BTA
Yeah,
every
yeah, yeah.
stream.
I know. Comedy
My
hour.
husband be
Yeah.
like, "Dang, you don't argue
Comedy
that
hour.
much no more." I be argued out on here.
Yeah, but I just been out here every day with my old self, running around on Jefferson, trying to get a belt to the
East
butt.
Jeff, stand up. I love my city.
Yeah, yeah, I'm over here out there with my lonely self out there trying to take down two of them, a restaurant and a nail salon. But besides that, yeah, but besides that though, my experience, my birth certificate says Negro. So when I was coming up, I was working at Denny's. And we know how Denny's used to be. They used to have a problem, with, the race car thing. I love TikTok or whatever. But anyway, I was working with, I think, a Mexican and a white tea. And, it's just something about us. I know I was a good cook because I used to have people come in at 4 in the morning and it'd be black and white people. And they be asking, it's I ain't gonna say my name. Well, I can say my name, Mr. Walker. It's Mr. Walker here, the chef back there, short order cook. And they would tip me. They don't supposed to tip me, but they would tip me. And I had a problem with this Asian and this white tea. Like they was kind of jealous because I wouldn't know how to cook. I don't scratch my butt and feed people, and I used to have a problem with them doing that, especially you feed my people. Don't scratch your behind and serve somebody. So I went to the manager and I told the manager, of course he was white, and they gave me a transfer. They sent me over there on 8 Mile to the other Denny's. So I had a problem with them doing that. So I went and got me a lawyer. You know me, I'm gonna sue them in a minute. I ain't gonna hold them up. I ain't gonna argue with you. I know the law. I go right to my lawyers. So basically that was one of the incidents that I had with white tea and Mexican. The other incident I had, I was doing my carpentry. I went to school for rough carpentry. And I had a problem with a white tea again. Now my dad was a carpenter. So I was already advanced a little bit when I went to school. So when I started working, I'm working with these white tea guys, not even trying to have a problem, just trying to do my job. And for some reason, they tried to get me fired. And I couldn't see what was the reason of trying to get me fired because I was correcting them on some, the rafters or something wasn't measured right. And boy, what'd I do that for? What'd I do that for? I wasn't trying to be all that. I was just trying to do the job correctly. When you hang in rafters, that stabilizes your, the top of the roof. And it's got to be precise. So I kept coming to work. So for some reason, somebody did something and blamed it on me. And I tried to prove to the head boss, he was white tea, and he dismissed me from that job. So after that, I went and started doing my own contracting business. I said, I'd never do that again, and ever since I've been straight. But as far as all that concerned, I have learned from my experience that in some cases, it's best to have your own and learn your own and try to do your own contracting work. Yep, and I'll lay my plan on that.
All right, thank you,
Yep.
Happy Butt. We need you to mute your mic, because
Yep.
hey, Happy Butt, because you got a lot of background noise. Happy, hey, RJ.
Yeah, I'm out. I was out in the backyard.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking to Happy Butt over there.
Oh, good afternoon, Miss Love.
Hey, RJ, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, what's your Black American experience, RJ?
Uh, everything was pretty good going up until I moved to like completely knew I was gonna end up living in New York around like 2000, 2001. This is when I was starting to realize I was gonna live around like I guess my mother's type of people, Caribbean people, and I never been around what was it Guyanese Indian people like that or Trinidad Indian people. I didn't know like too much about
Wait a
their.
minute, let me just because RJ is a white ethnic, just to let y'all know. Go ahead, RJ.
So when I go over there for like the first, I think it was like the first month. I got into an argument with a Indian kid, and he called me and he was darker than me. He called me he said, well, I don't even know if I can say it. He called me just what I'm not a
Yeah, you can
blackie.
spell it. Yeah,
B.
okay.
He called me he called me that, and then I was like, yo, what is this? And I'm looking like y'all let other people from different coaches call y'all the N word because I was talking to some dude and he was like Jamaican. So I was like, oh. So I guess it must be different out here because I don't let nobody who ain't my people call me the N word. That's not how I'm rocking. And then when I first went out to school out there, I got into it with a Hispanic. Same thing. I end up, I ain't gonna front. I end up two-piecing him, and I got suspended my first day of school. And because then the white tea lady came and was like, I told her to shut up because I was mad. I called it the B word, and then some dude, I didn't know who this guy was. He came up to me, and then he asked, "Oh, did you call this woman a B word?" I was like, "Who you talking about? Her?" I said, "Yeah, I did. So what? She's defending somebody who tried to play me." And then I got suspended. I didn't realize that the gym teacher was his daughter, and he was the superintendent. And then I got home. My mother told me, she, give me some few pops, and she said, "You gonna apologize?" I said, "No, I'm not apologizing, because you wasn't there and you didn't know what happened. So I'm not apologizing. Nobody's getting no apology out of me." And that was the first time I really like went at it with my mother, even though I was like 10 years old. So I just told her like they drop in the N word and he's Hispanic. Damn, they look white tee. So I'm like, and I don't know you. So I didn't like that. And as far as anything else, it been pretty decent, but like just as far as in jobs, I just had a few issues with working with Jamaicans or other Caribbean people. Y'all, even though I'm bi ethnic, a lot of Caribbean people kiss white tea people's booty too much on the job, and it's disgusting. Just gonna let y'all know, I don't like it.
We don't like it either, RJ.
And I'll land my plane. I'm gonna go in the comments, Miss Love.
All right, RJ. Thanks for always supporting.
All right.
All right. Hold on. Let's get to some people who never been. Hey, Charles, how you doing? Charles.
Hey, how you doing today? Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
I got so much noise back in the background. They're vacuuming and everything.
You
Much
want
love to
to?
the live.
Oh, okay.
I want
We can't hear
I
it.
wanted to tell Rev, but he just turned the vacuum off. They're on for the summer, so I'm putting them to work. Yeah, I just wanted to tell Rev, on congratulations on standing this and doing his own thing, because you will make more in the long run that way. It might be a little hard at first, but it pays off in the long run. Ain't nothing like being your own man. That was all I had to
So,
tell him.
oh, okay. Well, thank you for coming up, Charles.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
you didn't want to answer the prompt?
on my Black American experience.
Yep. Thank you, Landry.
Mine's been pretty good though.
Yeah. You want to tell us a little bit about
I'm in Florida here, and yeah, I'm in Florida here. We got, I mean, actually, the school that I went to, high school, at any given time, there will be about 50 to 60 trucks in the parking lot with shotguns in the windshield, and you were allowed to have pocket knives on you as long as you had them in they had to be secure on your side, like on your belt buckle. Nobody ever got stabbed and nobody ever got shot.
Pew, Polka, I
And
love TikTok shop. You got to say pew
yeah,
pew.
pew pew pew
Yeah,
pew
you
pew
good.
pew. I
You
love
good.
TikTok.
Go ahead.
Yeah, pew pew. Yeah, and I mean, the community I live in, I mean, I guess it's pretty, it's damn well pretty good because in this neighborhood we always look out for each other. And I remember growing up as a little kid, a lot of the people around here, they did a lot of bartering. It's like if one person has something and the neighbor don't have it, but they might have something that you could use. So like if this lady baked cakes, but she don't have much of a garden, so you got a garden, you might take a bushel of greens and some okra down to her house, and she might pass you off a couple pies or something, you know. So people didn't have to come out of their pocket with a lot of cash. And when times were hard and you hear about other people were barely making it on stuff to eat, everybody in the community here always had food to eat because there was a lot of people had gardens. My dad had a boat. We always fished, and we always kept so much fish for ourselves. And when we come back on the boat, we always give fish out to everybody throughout the neighborhood and stuff. So we had a neighborhood that pretty much looked out for everybody. The kind that if you got out of hand and you were somewhere else, you showed out, they tore you up, and you just hope that they didn't tell your parents, because if they told your parents, you got another whooping coming when you get home. Because,
Exactly.
that's just the way it was. But that's why I decided no matter how much I make, I would stand in this neighborhood to raise my kids in this neighborhood. And that's my pretty much experience with America so far.
Hey, Charles, when
I
you were
appreciate you
saying,
for having me up. Yes, sir.
yeah, when you were saying about, it's just like by me being a carpenter, um, um, we have to carry utility knives and everything. When you said that that you would carry a knife on the side, but by me being a you know doing that type of construction, home improvement work, and carpentry work, I was always carrying a utility knife or some type of knife, because of my work, experience. So I can understand that situation,
Right.
and then it's a whole lot of we have a whole lot of Black American contractors in Detroit, a bunch of us. And sometimes when one person don't have enough work, we communicate. We communicate and we go on their jobs, they come on my jobs. If I can't fulfill the whole job in enough time, we'll call each other. So, that's the way it is out here. So I can understand what you were saying.
That's how we grow. That's how we grow.
All right. Thank you, Charles.
Exactly.
All right.
I appreciate.
Appreciate you too. Samantha, you had a question. Happy butt.
Yeah, I have a question for Happy. Are you there, Happy?
Can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. So my grandfather was, I'm from Louisiana. My grandfather was born in 1925. And he told us stories because I heard you mention an area earlier about some stories that wasn't told. So my grandfather used to tell us stories about, they had maroons back then that wasn't necessarily publicized because the white tea community didn't want the world to know that there was a lot of resistance down there. And so when things would happen, like for example, if there was a strange fruit or something like that, they would go out and get, a few of theirs. I mean, he had stories for days that would happen. Have you heard of any of those stories?
No, I haven't, but The reason I got back up, I just wanted to tell one thing, and then I was going to go away. It had to do with, and you're on the right track. My goal is to let history be written correctly. And I'm just giving examples of where history is not written correctly, and that's what I came back. Now, who has played a big part in this country is the what is it, the historical black colleges. And I can remember back when, take Grambling College in Louisiana. One while there, Grambling had more pros in the NFL than any other school. Grambling, Eddie Robinson, I don't know if you've heard that name, he was the winningest coach in football. But in order not to make him the winningest coach, Bear Bryant had retired. They brought Bear Bryant back and let him sit on the sideline in a wheelchair until he surpassed Eddie Robinson. And to this day, Grambling College has gone downhill. Grambling don't even have enough money to buy football pads. So it shows you how history can just go down. The bands, Texas Southern, with its track team. Nothing is written about all the great things that people did back in the day. And that's all I got to say. I'm gone.
All right, have a good day. Happy
Oh,
I
birthday.
would
I want
I
to.
was gonna say, oh
That's
man,
all right. He gone.
oh
Listen,
yeah,
y'all Gen Alphas, please teach y'all granddaddies and grandparents how to use the TikTok and the internet, please. You see what I'm saying? We need our OGs to be able to come talk to us like this. We really enjoyed that. Shout out
yep.
there.
And I was gonna say, I met this older guy here when I went to my sister's best friend's birthday party. And he was like in his 80s or something like that. He had fought in the wars and everything. But he was telling me the same thing. He said that the history here has been like there's a lot of history that was erased. And he asked me if I could write his biography for him. Unfortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to write the biography because things changed. But he told me a lot of stuff too. He was actually hung strange fruited, and they had to cut him down. So there was a lot of stuff that happened that wasn't recorded. And I wish that I could have, had the opportunity to write the biography for him, but unfortunately I didn't.
Boat right. Hold on. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Hey.
Want me to answer the prompt?
Yeah, you've been up here today.
Oh,
Nah, not
yes,
today.
ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what's my Black American experience? I had a great Black American experience. I experienced the bottom, the middle, and the top for a vague moment. I've been poor. I've been city poor. I've been cut. There's a difference between city poor and country poor, by the way. I've been city poor and I've been country poor. I see my dad come down to the boonies, to the sticks, where well, back in that day, nobody was shooting nobody. Everybody was, nobody was pew-pewing anybody. Everybody was, putting their hands up and seeing what they got. So we used to all get in trouble and getting sent to these remedial classes and all that. He was like, yo, there's no wrestling team or nothing down here. These kids ain't got nothing to do. I promise you, one day they're gonna make a movie about this. I promise you. We weren't even in a 1A school. I think we had 150 people graduate our high school. We took everybody to the nationals 3 years in a row, out of nowhere. They was writing news clips about us and everything. We was over there near the Outer Banks. So all we had was little country towns to go up against. And we had to go to the city near Virginia Beach and Elizabeth City was doing all of them dirty. Went all the way to the Nationals, did all of them dirty, fighting racism and all that. We didn't care. It was a beautiful thing. I think out of 15 people, 10 of us were black. And 10 of us were black and hard-headed. I'll put it to you that way. We ain't had no avenue. Our pops gave us all the avenue to go and use our muscles and use our sweat, because we weren't the type to sit down and chill. We had to go out and move about. We were all hunting, doing all types of crazy stuff.
Is he cutting out for anyone else, or is it just me? Did anyone else hear that?
Yeah. Well, thank y'all for coming up here. We want to give a shout out to all the panelists, all the mods, all the gifters, and shout out to everybody who came and and shared their Black American experience. What's up, chat? I hope y'all feeling good. I'm feeling good. What's up, chat on YouTube? All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and change the prompt now. Everybody went. Y'all got
Oh, I wanted to
anything to
share
say?
mine.
Oh, go
I ain't get to
ahead.
share. Yeah, I ain't get to
Oh, I'm
share mine
sorry.
yet. I was trying to wait.
Go ahead and
I
share
want to
yours.
share yours.
Man, my Black American experience, Lord. Man, what a time to be alive. I would say the highlight of my Black American experience right now is seeing how much we've come together in delineation. You guys know I'm 26, so I haven't been here long, right? But I get to talk to my elders. Y'all get to see me in that picture right there over there at the Cedar Hill State Park down in Cedar Hill, Texas. Got to go like a Monday or two ago. Um, it's like being in a time machine, being able to listen to my elders. You know what I'm saying? And it's like traveling to the past and seeing what was really going on for real. There's a lot of unique stories
Thank you.
that we don't get to hear. And as you all know, I always brag about talking to my 81-year-old auntie, because I didn't get to talk to my grandfather. He passed from Agent Orange in the I Love TikTok shop. I don't know if I can say that, but the A Orange, from the Vietnam WAR, being a paratrooper over there, just a 17-year-old country boy from South Kakalaki, going over there and getting recruited. So my experience has been a learning one, and it's going to continue to grow. Especially with me re-enlisting with the military, just like my ancestors did before me. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I would say the highlight is seeing how the gender WAR came and went. Well, I would say the t'other WAR came and went, and you know what I mean. We've been seeing a lot of healing going on. I've gotten to see how, and I grew up in Central Florida, so I've gotten to see, when spring break was a thing for a little while as I was alive, and then it went away. The older I got, I've gotten to see the beach turn more and more, away from what I knew it to be, to what it is now, and it's still some highlights to it. But yeah, I've gotten to also see the takeover, hostile takeover, a lot of these immigrants, no matter where they come from, and I've gotten to see the back end of that Rainbow Push Coalition stuff, from back in the day, helping to push the immigration rights forward. So I'm the product of what people were doing back in, 1960, basically. So, and shout out to all my ancestors from the past 500 years who were thinking of us, today, for us to have this conversation about our experience, because who knows, we might not have even been here if they didn't fight to make sure that we were free and fight for our rights in this system, not on this land, but on this system. This land is always ours and always will be ours. But that's been my experience so far as a Black American. Shout out to everybody that came. Shout out to the elders, for real, for real.
Yeah, shout out to that.
I,
Can I add one last thing before you switch the prompt? And I wanted Soul to
We can have open discussion. Or American wanted to say something. Go ahead,
okay.
American. We got let me see how many more minutes. We got 30 more minutes, y'all, so we can stay on it 30 minutes.
oh,
American, go ahead.
I was gonna say too. Honestly, I've never been like racially profiled by anyone, or talked down on by anyone. Other than I just have this story from when I was living in California. And I used to live in Long Beach when I used to go to
They got
school.
muffled, sis.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I used to go to school in Long Beach, and my mom used to send us to the bus stop. And believe it or not, Warren G's mother, right? She was our bus stop attendant. And I used to be, you know how kids be hyped up in the morning, just clowning and doing all kind of stuff. I was climbing up on the fence, and she called me a monkey. I'm sorry. She told me to get down, monkey. That's what she said to me, right? When I went home, my sister was like, "Oh, you called my sister a monkey." When we got home, we couldn't wait to run to that door, tell my mom. My mom ran up to that school, and she got in the lady's face. She got in Warren G.
Wait a
mama
minute,
face, y'all.
American. Warren G.
Huh?
Mama. What is Warren G. Mama? What ethnicity is she?
She's Black American.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep, she got up. My mom got up in that lady face and she went ham on her. And then I was like, why would she call me a monkey? You know, like I was a kid and I knew that was wrong. But that's the only racial thing that I've ever been through in this country. You know, that one time. Beside that, I've had good experiences, and be having to be competitive with my work. You know, like because I work in the operating room. So I work with, you know, different people, YTs mainly. There's more Black American surge techs than there are YT, especially in Detroit. But I've noticed that a couple times I've had my work looked over a little more than I would like, seeing that I am, you know, overqualified for my position, and I felt offended a couple times. And I have to be a little bit more competitive as far as, you know, making sure I'm crossing my dots and dotting my I's. But you know, beside that, like as far as anyone ever calling me the N word or anything like that, no, I've never been through that before. Just like I said, maybe the little monkey comment, but that was it.
Well, I have. Growing up in Louisiana, it was really racist. So a YT girl called me the hard ER in the lunchroom. And so I took my hard plastic lunch tray and slapped her across the face with it, and I got expelled.
Right. And
You
down there
did
also,
you did
so
right.
in Louisiana, so when I, because first of all, I want y'all to know I was born in the 70s, late 70s. So growing up in the 80s in Louisiana, there was two sides of Louisiana. Well, Shreveport, I'll tell you that. You had the black across, they literally had back then the cross the railroad track. So when I was in you know, preschool and early elementary, I went to the all black school. And then, you know, I don't know what happened that I had to go to this other school where it was migrated with, you know, it was, you know, YT people, whatever. I wasn't called a hard ER, you know, whatever, nothing like that. But I experienced the different type of culture. But so what I wanted to tell you is I wanted to further let y'all know how we are not from Africa. Again, I was born in the 70s and I grew up in the 80s. We had a song when we were growing up and in school. And tell me if y'all heard this song before. It was called, it said one little, two little, three little Indians, four little, five little, six
And we
little
grew up on that
Indians.
too.
Seven. Exactly. And that's how that's what we knew that we were. You know what I'm saying? We had the
Yes.
dolls, we had all of
Or
that stuff. So
wait a minute,
I didn't hear a
or
lot of
sis,
Africans. I'm sorry.
or or sis, remember that other song talking about hey now,
Hey
hey
now, hey
now.
now, hey now.
Yes, my
Yes,
mom still
ma'am.
sings
You know what
that
I'm
song to
saying?
this day.
Yeah, so it really confuses me how people come in. That's why, that's the destiny swap that I cannot stand, because we know who we are. And I don't like to get on this app and, you know, talk about my who I all of that stuff, because again, people try to take your information, you know, but it's insulting, you know, and it's erasure in, you know, in real time, because we know who we are as a people, especially us people from certain states. All of us do, but Louisiana and all, okay, you can't play with us when it comes to who we are. And that's what I wanted to say. I'll land right there, guys.
And I just want to say we had carpentry school. Like in the 7th grade, we learned how to make chairs. We had home economics.
Yes.
We had home ec. We learned how to cook. We learned how to build, the girls and the
Sure
boys.
did.
we had trades back then. I really hate that they took trades out of school because it taught our young folks and our boys to have, even if you didn't go off to college and all of that kind of stuff, you could build a life with your hands.
Yeah,
Right.
hold
Correct.
on,
I
y'all.
remember.
Black
Yeah.
American wanna I mean not Black American, Black Queen wanna just do the prompt. Hold on, y'all.
Okay, so my experience, like when I grew up, my parents, for whatever their reasoning was, they didn't really teach us a lot about race relations. So I really didn't just grow up knowing about how white people was. I don't know if they did that to protect us, but it really wasn't protecting us. But they didn't. So when I experienced it at that tender age of 16, the first time was by people that I thought was supposed to protect us. And so me and my friend, we was cruising, like teenagers do, was cruising up the strip one weekend, and the police got behind us, and my friend was like, "Oh, are they pulling us over because they're riding us close?" And I'm like, "I don't know what's wrong." And so then all of a sudden they just flew to the other side. They just flew to the other side of to the driver's side window of my friends and rolled their window down, and they said, "Get out of our way, you NIGGERBITCHs." And I mean, they yelled it like 4 or 5 times, and it scared us so bad. And this is police officers, and I was like, "Oh my God, they were supposed to protect us. What is going on?" And I went home crying about it. And that's the first time, they set us down and talked to us about that. And ever since from then on, I've been Black Power, like for real. I used to be the first to go and jump in any protest, the first to stand up for my people. And this is why I have this passion and love for my people. And so I just want to say,
Yeah.
I educate our children, because I was out there blind, thinking these people were my friends, but I could never go to their houses. And when I say why, they would say because you look different from me, and I didn't understand it because it wasn't explained to us. So yeah, education is very important.
Miss Love, I
Mhm.
just want to say we played slide, like we played hand games, we jump roped. We didn't have social
Yep.
media. We played
Yeah,
we played
yeah,
house outside using the red clay
yeah.
dirt. Like
That was the
we
punishment if you couldn't go outside.
Red light, green light.
yes, that's how I know we are who we are.
And so we had a beautiful experience. I get that we went through stuff, but in overall, in general, I think it's very, very important for us to put those positive stories out there. We wasn't, again, we know we wasn't docile, but we didn't go through things. If we were poor, we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? We had a great childhood. We had a great experience growing up. I did.
Yeah,
And from what I'm hearing in a collective, we all did. So
yeah,
that's important to keep that out there.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Classism didn't come about until the recent years. We didn't know if we were rich or poor because we lived well.
Can I play this real quick and see if anybody remembers? Love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a minute, hold on. You said music?
Yeah, and see if
Oh,
anybody remembers this song.
no, no, no.
But
Cause
Oh,
I'll
copyright.
sing it. My grandma and your grandma was sitting by the
yes. My
fire.
mom still
My
sings that
grandma and
song.
your grandma was gonna set this thing on
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 fire.
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 Talking about,
Yeah.
hey
Hey
now,
now.
Hey now,
hey
Oh
hey
now.
yeah,
now.
I
Yes,
remember that
ma'am.
Dr.
song.
Marvin. That was my
Yes.
song.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't know. There's so many things that we just don't do anymore and like so much stuff, but I just feel like it's important that we just continue that on. But these Africans, they don't understand that we have a completely separate culture from them. That's all I was saying. Like even that in that song, that wasn't an African song.
And how
So
the parents
Yes.
spoke in pig Latin so the kids wouldn't know what they were talking about.
We
yeah.
we speak pig Latin in
Yes.
Louisiana, but I won't speak it on here because somebody will clip it and they'll try to learn it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a
Uh-huh.
Right.
mess. Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah. We still
my
speak pig
grand
Latin.
Yeah, my grandfather had taught us how to speak Pig Latin. And when I went to school, I had a very good experience because I went to school with Aretha Franklin's sons, Edward and Clarence. We went to school together, and she came and got him out of class in the 5th grade. That was during the time that I had a little problem with my teacher, my white tea teacher, and we had a test about
Thank
Columbus,
you.
who discovered America. And I said this before, I had got a bad grade on my test paper because I didn't agree. Everybody else agreed, but I didn't agree that he discovered America. And she grabbed me by my ear and took me down to the principal's office because I was screaming bloody murder. She couldn't get me to say that and to write that. And I was like, what, 7 to 8 or something like that. But I did have a lot of good experiences coming up as a child. I stayed on Euclid, and between 12th and 14th, it was a lot of disturbance back in '67. I don't know if I can say riot. I love TikTok. And it was the riot, and I was a little bitty kid, and I experienced that. And it did kind of bother me in a way to see all this tanks wreck, big tanks, military tanks right next to your house, and different things like this. Everybody was looting, things was on fire. I mean, I seen this with my own eyes. So I did have a little drama coming up, but I had more of a good time as a kid then. Yeah.
Miss Love, you gonna change the prompt? Oh, go ahead, Black Queen. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say I miss picking 4-leaf clovers, looking for 4-leaf clovers. Did y'all used to do that? Used to dig
Yes.
the
I
We used to
did.
Yes,
eat we
Yeah.
yes.
used to
And
eat the
what would
honeysuckles.
Yep,
yeah,
sure
I was just
did.
about to say that. Y'all remember eating
What
honeysuckles?
about the
Yes,
marbles? Shooting
yes,
Love,
marbles.
I really appreciate you
Shooting
making this
marbles in the
prompt. This
dirt.
was a beautiful
yep.
conversation. Oh my God.
And you
Do
had
y'all
to watch
remember
out for the
about
snakes picking the blackberries, and that's all I'm gonna say.
do,
Yep.
do y'all remember about shooting the marbles in the dirt?
Yes.
Shooting
Yes,
Yep.
I
marbles in the
remember.
dirt. Yeah.
And jacks,
Yeah.
we played
Yeah.
jacks.
Yep, Jax.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
my
Yes.
goodness,
We
that
had
was
BB
so fun.
guns.
Hmm.
Oh, what about we had tetherball back then,
I used to
We
mess
had
some tether. My hands used to be messed up. What about rings?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I still got blisters from rings.
Oh my God.
Love that tetherball.
yeah, it was a